we are live. I'm going to share this in the old Discord Arenesco.
Ooh, I see a Chris and Jen on my Discord screen.
There we are.
You mean
not
Discord?
Discord?
Baby pup.
I meant Twitch. I don't know what words are.
Nobody does, truly.
Meanwhile, I'm petting the puppy's belly with my toes.
Tenzin doesn't know what to do.
Nephew dog.
He's just laying on the floor looking so sad.
Oh, he is half.
Because I haven't been there.
Yeah, he needs.
Speaking of which, I have two things to give to you next time I see you in Meat Space, Tony.
I hope one of them is sweet, sweet love.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Yes, I know we're live and I don't even care.
Listen, the internet knows our relationship. They've talked about the fan fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Open up the clips.
Oh, boy.
Anyway,
Yes.
Hi everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. We're back in action, ready for session 5 of the Witcher Tabletop RPG.
And we're a little silly too.
We're always silly. Today might be a little bit of a shorty because we're starting late, but that kind of works out interestingly anyway, because today it will be probably a lot more open in terms of what y'all can do than the past sessions have been, because the past sessions were a little bit more linear in terms of kind of getting things set up. You just finished your first major dungeon. Now you got a lot of potential places to poke and sniff at. And unless you look for guidance in having me nudge you in a particular direction, the court's basically going to be open for y'all today. So you as a party get to decide what makes the most sense to do. But before we jump right into the fray, would somebody like to recap what happened last time on Dragon Ball Z for a free luck point?
Oh, he passed away this week.
Oh,
the dubber, I'm pretty sure he passed away this week. The guy that does the English dub of the narration like that.
Aw.
That's sad.
Yep.
But do we have any takers for a recap?
I mean, I'm always down to do it, but I like hoard it every week, so.
I'll do it because I'm super low on luck points all the time, so getting an extra one never hurts. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, we began the fight with my dreaded nemesis, the Catacan, while we were searching for the drowners that were a little off. So at the top of the session, Ascension, guys, I'm going to kind of light this a little bit because there was kind of like a lot that happened, but it was mostly in action. We found the drowners that had like a weird, I don't know, like tumor, like a neck.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. A weird like neck head bubble thing going on. And we're like, hey, that's weird. Then all of a sudden, Jacek goes down.
Not just Jacek goes down. You hear Jacek get impaled by a claw, turn back and see him get yanked into the darkness above.
Into the darkness, exactly. By an invisible nemesis. That made me freak out a little bit. That nemesis, we find out as we get through the fight, is the dreaded Catacan, a vampire-esque creature. Perfect, thanks, Chad. And we begin a fight with that. And the fight just starts with Gort, myself, and Reggie as we're trying to figure out what to do. We sort of escape the drowners. I get beat up pretty bad, though. I get my leg broken by one of the drowners going up the stairs. Yeah, it was bad news bears. But Gort manages to get pretty high up. We figure out, just through some work between my own monster, or my Witcher training, I think Reggie's monster lore / awareness, that this is the Catacan. We know they have some kind of invisibility, and we're trying to figure out how to break it. We, with Gort's help, get a bunch of the sconces lit, and Reggie's help get a bunch of sconces lit to give us better visibility. We miss the Catacan a lot, and it hurts us pretty bad. I think we all got a little injured. I don't know if Gork got injured by the Catacan.
Only 3 points.
That's not bad. All right, so Reggie and I got pretty roughed up. got pretty roughed up by the Catacan. And I eventually got some luck with my fire. We did some pretty decent damage to said Catacan. And while that's happening, I'll do a quick pause. I know it's kind of a really basic understand what we're doing in here. We do find out, though, that these drowners are probably the special drowners we're looking for. While that's happening, Azoldi meets with what sounds like the emerald creature. Was it a witch, Chris? I can't remember how you described it. It was like a witch or
I mean,
a lady of the bog.
Yeah, she was a creepy lady who was tall with, kind of thin appendages, who had piercing green eyes.
Yeah, piercing green eyes, and essentially, now this is where I get a little bit dicey on this part, offers Azoldi to, help her out, essentially, because it might be that the city is trying to, I don't know, not eradicate the mages, but there's going to be some issues with the mages. I know Azoldi was super not clear on, I was not a big fan of wanting to help her because, she seemed kind of nuts.
Well, she also
kidnapped.
And kidnapped
Dagar.
Yes. Dagar, who's Azoldi's friend?
Azoldi's friend, correct.
Yeah. So kidnap Dagar, who's Zoli's friend, and so Zoli's like, well, screw you, dude. Grabs Dagar, and they're able to get out. Azoli does make friends kind of with a hag.
A grave
hag.
Is that
what that was?
Yeah, it's a
grave
monster.
hag. She gets 3 frogs.
And
a tongue. Yeah, 3 frogs and a tongue.
And a severed human tongue.
A severed human tongue. And then Azoldi basically puts Dagar back with her dog and decides to explore
dog. Yeah.
Wolf, right?
Yeah.
The wolf. A little cute pup. And decides to explore the tunnels that we went through and essentially followed all of the carnage we left behind us to find us and basically support us in the fight. Azoli takes out a couple of the drowners, or at least one of them, and then tries to help buff me so we can fight the Catacan, but the Catacan is so freaked out it knocks the ceiling down. Luckily we did okay, and I don't think we totally miffed that, so the ceiling did not crash on us, but unfortunately the Catacan did get away, and I did not chase after it as badly as myself and I think Gort wanted to. But
part of the reason they could run away was because a failed spell or a failed Witcher sign earlier had frozen Edelmar.
Yeah, I
really hammering the speed. So between that and a broken leg,
I was basically screwed. I was at a -5 for movement. It was not good. It was real bad. So the Catacan gets away. After the Catacan's gone, we make sure to get Reggie gets Jacek basically back up well enough, right?
Stabilized.
Not bleeding out
stabilized.
anymore.
Not bleeding out. Azoldi throws a ritual heal down on Reggie. We get back down. We deal with the last of the drowners that are there. And we decide to explore after Azoldi, I think, successfully finds this illusion charm that was on the second level. After we remove that charm, we see an opening to an extra room. Gort, Azoldi, and myself decide to check it out, while Reggie decides to operate on these special tumor drowners. As we leave, Reggie, while trying to open it up,
I'm laying
fumbles.
there like
Yep.
totally
Reggie,
unconscious.
right, yeah, check this out. Reggie fumbles pretty hard when trying to open it up, and it explodes, pushing Reggie off of this pedestal that Azoldi made for him to keep him safe, losing one of his instruments. While that's happening, the 3 of us go in. We see a teleporter that's broken, or maybe not charged up.
the activation crystal.
Yeah. That's right. The activation crystal's not there, and then there was like an archway that's there. We nab some of that good stuff. I think we take some piece of like the room, and we come back. We find out that the drowners. What was the deal with the drowners? Holy cow!
There was they do have some sort of, you called them tumor drowners, and it does seem to be the case as the stomachs that are distended from them seems to be of some foreign matter that was self-healing as I attempted to operate in it.
That's right. It kept,
So my surgery, because of the explosion, basically all I was able to accomplish was just hacksaw out samples of the foreign material from each of their stomachs.
Yeah. And I think we're able to kind of connect the Emerald-Eyed Lady to all of this as well. And we also have the connection to the guy from the bathhouse, possibly, after finding that door last time. So we do have things to bring back. But essentially, we leave out the sewer, and we're about done there. I think that was most of the session. I know I missed a couple of maybe key things.
I think one other thing to note was the whole thing with the green-eyed woman that they were trying to recruit Azoldi for is basically a response to the faction of like the Red Rose, or I forget what the faction's called. But essentially are transforming into witch hunters and have deep ties with the city. They essentially were trying to pull a Ra's al Ghul of these people, and they're in dislike of magic. We have to purge the witch hunters to keep ourselves safe and keep magic in power. And it's like, lady, you do some real messed up experiments. Like,
is that lady a mage? Is that what
we're magically inclined, unclear if human or
that was
she did cast a spell. We know for sure that she teleported Dagard back, which was definitively a spell.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
So some level of mage, hard to know if she's human or something other.
Or other. Okay.
Another clarification. So Chad, you're exactly right. She's basically pushing to eradicate the Order of the Flaming Rose, as well as the Witch Hunters, as well as the Church of the Eternal Fire. So it's a three faction attack.
Girl got some enemies.
But
they all kind of are connected organizations, which is probably part of the drive to eliminate all three.
Yes. But she also did make it clear that she also wants to destroy the Council of Mages. And establish a new rule of mages.
Which isn't the Lodge. It's not the Lodge. It's a different thing.
Yes, exactly.
Because the Lodge is also happening somewhere else, which is a Council of Sorcerers also looking to overthrow the magic.
Yeah, I mean, behind the scenes right now, the Lodge of Sorceresses is also kind of crumbled at this point, but that's not necessarily something that everyone fully understands unless you're part of the deeper world narrative.
Fun times.
Also,
I don't know if we know this part, but she was trying to convince Azoldi to essentially keep the lockdown going.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
right.
She was generally asking for Azoldi's partnership, but the starting ask was to keep the city locked down.
And I don't think Azoldi mentioned that.
Correct. She agreed to it to this lady, but she didn't necessarily mention it to the other parties.
Yeah.
The other thing
I forgot those parts. Yep, clearly.
No, that's okay. The other clarification is that you did take something from the teleporter, the broken teleporter in the sewers. You got a black sphere.
Oh, sphere. I thought we grabbed a gem, but I guess it was the sphere. Okay.
I don't remember if you all figured out what it was, but it seemed important regardless.
Well, it seemed like it was. I thought we figured out that was like the key to open the teleporter. Maybe not.
Okay, then I think I at least gave you an inkling as to what it was. It basically feels like it could be a key.
Yeah, I remember that thing could open up, and we were unsure if we should break anything, so we didn't, because at least us having that sphere means that maybe they can't get in. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, regardless, the portal broke its power source, so it's fully inactive anyway.
Yes, and we were able to tell by the tracks too that it looked like things were dragged either in or out from that room.
Yes. Yeah, you deduced that it seemed reasonable to assume that the drowners may have come through the portal like out into the sewers.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you opened up another gate at the end of the sewers and kind of
and we
crawled
kinda
along
made
the
it.
coast.
We meandered out the coast. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Get a bonus luck point, Adelmar.
Thank you. I'll make sure that some luck is used on Reggie today at some point because
I do appreciate the fact that Reginald has just fully become Reggie at this point,
Yeah.
because that is absolutely just a nickname Isolde came up with.
Yep, 100%. She was calling you Reggie, and I was like, cool,
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
And
Wait,
it's
I
stuck.
thought I started that.
I'm not
Oh
sure.
well, doesn't matter.
The first time I remember hearing it was my character seen as meeting up with Isolde the first time in campaign and her going, "Oh, Reggie," and it's like, oh yeah, I guess nicknames are on the board.
Cool. So we begin today's session not long after, pretty much immediately after the end of last session. The party hobbled their way back to town and re-enter town via the docks. You got a lot of strange looks from people because the city's under lockdown, so it's not really expected to see people shambling along the coast to enter the city through the docks where there are no walls. People don't just like wander through the water, and if anything, ships will still come through, but they kind of keep the ships on lockdown. So either way, you get a lot of faces, right, and looks, and you look pretty beat up.
And you're carrying an unconscious person.
At this point, we'll say that Jacek wakes up.
Okay.
He smells the sea and realizes he's no longer surrounded by the stank of the sewers.
And is in
And-
a lot of pain.
And
Or drugged up.
I think you are in Gort's arms. I think Gort was carrying Jacek.
Yes.
Gort got like a
Very-
massive like physique check.
So I take it back. You smell the sea air and you smell the musk of a thick beard, and all you see is beard hair in your face.
I would ask if this is
Thanks.
heaven, but I don't think this is what it would smell like.
Yeah, there's probably like guts in that beard right now after all the fighting.
And
Guts and a real amount of filth in that beard.
I'm trying to joke around, but there's a definite like edge to Jacek's voice of like, ow.
Yeah, your shoulder feels very ouchy right now.
Yeah, am I drugged up at all, or am I like
We're gonna
very
say
aware of
you-
the
I was
pain?
can I say I used a numbing herb?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I'm in pain, but I'm not like
It's not searing. It's more
Yeah,
like
it's probably-
more-
so he can
dosing.
carry me without being knocked out by sheer pain.
Yes.
Oh, we gave you the fizz tech. It's great. You're high. You're so high right now.
You now have to roll on the addiction table.
Congrats.
Surprise!
Ooh, the ocean.
Oh, you're
Or
awake.
the river? Where am I?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm the best one to tell you this, but we're out of the sewers.
Oh, thank the gods.
We got what we were looking for.
How are you feeling, Jacek?
Oh, I've definitely been worse. Better? I've been better.
You know, probably the best thing you could say after being attacked by a vampire is you've had worse.
Well, now you know what you were attacked by. You didn't even get a chance to see it.
A vampire?
Yeah, one of the
And
yeah, more specifically a catacomb, which is like the halfway point between the monstrous ones and the
Wait, does that mean I'm gonna
Human
turn
one.
into a vampire?
monster lore roll.
Sure.
All I know is I'm in
I'll
pain.
bet
I don't
that
know
up.
if it bit me or it stabbed me, so I'm like clutch my shoulder.
Good starting roll. That'll be a 21.
21. Very nice. Okay, yeah, that definitely will do it. I was trying to see if the urban legends say anything about this, but that's definitely not how vampires work. In fact, vampires are a species that came over through the collision of the. Why do I always forget the name of this?
The big thing.
The collision of spheres. The big event
That sounds right.
that brought all the monsters over. They're just another species that exists.
Okay.
So people aren't necessarily. Well, no, that's not true. People can be turned into vampires, but catacans don't do that.
Is it the conjunction of spheres?
That's
There
the
we
one.
go.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't keep that in. I should just
so I'd
write
say
it
to
down on a sticky
Jacek-
note and put it on my wall.
Say to Jacek, I think you got stabbed pretty well through the shoulders, and I don't think Katakan are the type to convert people.
You
So-
will be fine.
Yeah.
Just
If you
hurt.
start feeling any weird urges, let me know and we'll take a second look.
Alright, well, I was gonna say, at least I work at night, but I'd rather not be an undead.
Same.
So,
Kill you.
Well,
can you walk on your own now?
I don't think so.
Carry.
Uh,
Well, let's just we'll carry him back all the way to Elvira's place, where I can do a closer look at him and Edelmar's leg and any wounds you
You're
have.
right. Upon closer inspection, it's like, yeah, check, no injuries, just didn't want to walk.
Yeah, legs totally fine.
is
Well, my
there
legs
a,
are fine, but my
Is
shoulders.
there a resist being lied to roll on this one?
Absolutely. Is Jacek actually able to
Je-
stand on his own? At
Oh,
this
I'm
point?
assuming not. I'm assuming
It's a shoulder
genuine.
wound, so you could technically.
Well, I could give it a
Yeah.
shot.
It really
I can
depends
try.
on how dramatic Jacek is.
In my
about the
doctor's
pain.
opinion, there
I mean, very
probably isn't
dramatic.
any reason why Jacek can't walk, but Reginald is not second guessing Jacek right now.
I mean,
Right,
if you
right.
want to, I don't.
Go ahead and you know what? We're gonna actually make this a persuasion.
Oh, shoot.
And then Gort, I would like you to roll a resist coercion.
Oh, cool. I just put points into that.
Hey, nice.
Oh,
What's up, Red? How's it going, friend? Thank you so much for the raid. I hope your stream was absolutely delightful today.
Where the heck
Red,
is
was it you or Sriracha playing oh hey, thank you to Tony.
I got you.
I saw you were playing Tears of the Kingdom. I missed who was playing tonight though. But I hope you're having a good time. Y'all should go hang out with Redhead if you've never been over there. He's an absolute delight. Truly he and Sriracha both are pure delights in the realm of Twitch.
And in the realm of delights.
Yeah.
All right,
It should be like a coffee creamer. Realm of delights.
Ooh.
yeah, really.
I'm gonna make my whole line of products. It'll be Absolute Delights, Realm of Delights.
Affinity
Just-
delights.
Ooh,
Just
there you go.
watch out with delight, because that is a coffee creamer, I think. That's,
Yes, it
that's
is.
Snake with that, so don't get sued. Eh?
Cease and
Don't get sued.
desist.
Got
Got
to
a
ready
raid
to
and
have dinner.
run? Oh, show.
Well, I hope you enjoy your dinner for your Father's Day.
Oh, fun.
This day.
Yeah. I hope you have fun.
Those are potatoes.
All right, what'd you get?
17.
17? Gort?
I'm doing the math.
Oh, gotcha.
Ooh, 16.
Oh,
As far as you're concerned, Jacek is fully just unable to walk. He's in far too much pain, even though it's definitely not a leg wound.
All right, then
Hey,
I kind
after my shoulder surgery, if I wasn't like completely numb, I don't think I would have walked.
Jacek is a noodle in your arms. He's
So I
useless right
kind
now.
of maneuver him around to make it more comfortable to hold him, and I'm just like, rest up, friend.
Aw.
Thank you.
Okay, so where's the party going to?
I put up a suggestion to go back to Elvira's shack.
getting better may not be a bad call, but we do want to make sure we also get ourselves over to Chappelle. I don't know if there was a time limit on when he needed our report back, but
Well, let me take a look at your wounds and then examine this flesh, for lack of a better word, a little bit more closely. See if
Fair.
I can deduce anything about its origin or makeup before we make our formal report on it.
then I think after we get ourselves checked out by you, doctor, and I think that's a good call, we should see Chappelle and give him a progress report unless you all feel different.
No, that sounds appropriate to me.
So let's go.
Cool. So the party makes their way back over to Elvira's. She is surprised but not surprised, considering that she knew what y'all were about to throw yourselves into, but still not happy to see the people that she cares about beat up. She of course goes straight to you, Reginald, to make sure that you're the one who's okay first. But she sets out a couple of cots for people to kind of rest up on and helps you get ready to work.
Yeah. So first check would probably be Jacek, as far as healing hands go, just to kind of finish up. I don't know if we're counting it as a critical wound.
We can just make it one roll. We'll still have you roll on it. So we'll say this is... We're going to go on the complex track, so DC 14.
DC 14, got a 22.
All right.
Jacek
is patched up. At this point, is now considered treated.
Yeah. 21, since we're doing that -1 for the scalpel loss.
Oh, that's right.
So 21, actually, but yes. So,
Thanks,
treated.
Doc.
Yes, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Yes, get as much rest as you need, so...
Yeah, I assume he's just gonna pass out now.
Okay, and then next, of course, would be Edelmar's leg.
And Edelmar, was that a difficult crit that happened to you?
I feel like it was the second level one.
It was the second level one.
Okay, so that's also complex, so that would be a DC 14.
All right. That'll be 20.
Okay.
And how many of them do I need to make?
Since time is not critical right now, I think we're okay to just say it's one roll, unless we really want to see how long it takes.
Because I do know normally with them, they require a certain number of passes.
So this would be 4 turns that you would have to succeed.
Okay.
But in a case like this where time is not of the essence, I'm cool with
just letting it ride.
The first, exactly. So we'll say, it takes roughly 4 turns. It could take 5 or 6, but it's negligible.
Okay.
Right, because that's what, like 20 seconds or so?
Yeah, I mean, technically a turn is 3 seconds.
Right,
I
so
think
12 seconds.
Yeah.
He's a fast working doc.
Yeah, I mean, in this particular case, we're gonna just rule generally. He takes minutes.
Warfield trained, like battlefield trained.
Yeah, there you go.
You gotta be fast because they gotta go right back out there. So yeah, now Tony, your fractured leg is now considered treated. So you now only have a -1 to speed, dodge / escape, and athletics, and I believe it's for 3 days or something like that.
Your body is what, a 10, Adelmar?
Yes.
Let's go over time, check your body stat and the wound level. How many days you'll need to get rid of the treated penalty? So only 2 days to heal up.
Yeah.
How
2 days.
much will I need?
What's your body?
6?
Your body is 6, so it will take you 6 days.
Okay. That makes sense.
Treated.
That's crazy, though.
Body of 11 right here.
Absolutely terrifying.
All right. I break Gort's back. I'm like, all right, get healed from that. Huh?
It'll only take him 1 day to heal.
No. Then I'd kill him. Come back from that, Gort. Come back from that.
You can try.
Yeah, no, it'd be a long fight if we did that.
And so then I would just do a normal healing hands on Gort. And I guess I'd do it for Isolde, well, assuming that Isolde is with us at this point in time, just not, like, talking.
Mm-hmm. Isolde gives us the finger and disappears.
For Gort, I got a 24.
Excellent.
And then for Isolde, I got 21.
Excellent.
Dang, good rolls, Doc.
Yeah. So, and what that
yes.
also means is that everyone will heal at a faster rate, especially paired with rest.
Yeah. And then I guess I would do some sort of investigation, because I've got 3 normal drowner stomachs, 3 bloated drowner stomachs, and 4 chunks of mystery meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how you want to. I would assume the way I would do my investigation to start with is I would open up one of the normal drowner stomach and one of the bloated drowner stomachs just to kind of like do a comparison and contrast on the contents.
Sure.
And while Reginald is doing that, Gort tries to slip out the door.
Sure. I mean, unless anyone stops Gort, then...
Well, I would also
Are you stealthing out the door, or are you fine with us seeing you go out the door?
Yeah, I guess that's the...
I would be fine seeing you go out, seeing me. I would be fine if I was discovered going out the door.
Yeah, because I think my character, even if he noticed, if he's like in the midst of like starting this like examination, he's definitely not going to stop you or say anything.
Will my training help you at all in this? Because if not, I was thinking about going to trade some of these.
Well, it depends on what sort of role Chris asked for. I assume if it's a monster lore role, you probably could help quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
that's
if
kind
it's just like generic like medical knowledge and deduction from that, I'd assume you wouldn't really be giving much of an advantage to that, because I assume you would need some sort of doctor training in order to help with that. So I guess it's up to Chris on if we're going to be using like a monster lore style role for this investigation or not.
So I'm actually going to Uno reverse card at you and say, you get different information based on which skills you choose. And I'll allow you both to roll different skills to get different information.
Then I'll stand help. So Gord, if you need to sneak out and any of us are going to hold, I'll just say, hey, be back as soon as you can so that we can discuss with Chappelle. But, do what you need.
Yeah, I'll be at the tavern. Just come get me when we're going to Chappelle.
Fair. Cool. Then, I'm happy to. I can open with a monster lore.
My best skill for this is honestly going to be either healing hands or deduction. Cool. So I think I would probably open with deduction, because it is like a foreign meat compared to a drowner, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's monster meat.
Nice. Okay,
just to help make sure. Deduction doesn't necessarily give you definitive information. What it does is it gives you a nudge from the GM to be like, you can reasonably assume X, Y, or Z. But it's not like solid factual information. Okay. If that makes sense. So something like education in this case would give you something a little bit more concrete.
Okay, so I do have a good education as well. I would also figure if we do deduce that it is something that is not like normal meat, that it is something monster related, I could also possibly do alchemy to see if I can like see unusual traits of it that go beyond it just being like monster meat or something like that. To see if it's some sort of like treatment, or if it's secreting some types of fluid or material that are definitely not biological in nature type thing.
Sure. That would definitely give you something.
So I guess I would start from education standpoints. Edelmar, if you want to do your Witcher training to see if you can recognize like the type of meat it is.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do with that. So yes.
Yeah.
Let's look at that meat. So Chris, is it matter who rolls first, or we just kind of roll and seeing what we're getting?
Yeah, go ahead and roll at the same time. It doesn't matter.
Okie dokie. Oh, that's a D8. That'd be a terrible idea.
Yeah. Unless you roll an 8, then it might statistically probably would be better, but
that's also fair.
I got a 18 on my education roll.
I was so excited I exploded, but the next roll is just a 1 after that.
I mean, 11's nothing to sniff.
11's still good, but I'm like, come on. Let me see. So that's 6. 16. 27 for me on Witcher training.
Damn.
So monster.
Nice.
Wow. Damn. Okay, so on the education side, you split open all the stomachs and kind of examine all of the contents. The normal drowner stomachs just have what you might expect to find in a typical drowner stomach. Flesh that they've eaten, like bones and shit, just like sewage even, just
the good shit.
Basic omnivore. Yeah, whatever went into their mouth type thing.
Exactly. The bloated stomachs have what appear to be a smaller form of that mystery meat. Looking at the two together, you can tell that it's the same exact thing. It's this strange, mystery meat that appears to still be alive.
What?
Oh yeah, we didn't tell you that part, Yachek. It's
What?
kind of living.
Yeah, Yachek
Yeah,
is sitting in the room probably looking at this unless he chooses to do something else.
I look over
No,
at
he's
Yachek.
watching. What in the hells is that?
I forgot an important piece. It may still be kind of alive.
Yeah, we could be making like conjectures on it. Like, I'm sure.
How is this even possible?
It was a strange like growth that seemed independent of it, but I assumed it was parasitic in nature, and maybe even when the drowner had died, it was simply feeding off it. But these chunks are still themselves like moving without even any sort of parasite hosts.
Where are they from?
We're about to turn alien
The
here.
drowners that we fought at
Wait,
the same time
is
as the
it-
catacomb.
Is it drowner flesh that's alive, or is it something else
some
inside
sort
of them?
foreign material.
Well, that's hopefully what my
So we don't know
my
what it
knowledge
is.
Tells me.
Yeah, what is the monster lore knowledge?
Yeah.
Yeah, Witcher.
So the monster lore tells you this is definitely not normal.
Clearly.
Which goes without saying. So it's certainly nothing you've ever seen before. It is. There's no monster that you know of that would or should behave this way. The only thing that could be like, even this is a stretch, but the only thing that you could even possibly compare it to would be how something like a vampire regenerates. And this would be like a higher vampire, right? Because you can't kill higher vampires. You could obliterate them into a bloody mist, but they will still regenerate from basically nothing. The only thing
So
that could kill a
could it
higher
be?
vampire is another higher vampire.
So
That being
then,
said,
can I do then a deduction roll?
But then
I
why
guess
is
I'll let you
it
finish.
inside of a drowner's stomach?
well, yeah, okay, so that being said, this doesn't seem like it could be vampire flesh.
Right.
There's a particular difference, is that this growing mass is showing up in multiple places, whereas when a vampire regenerates, it's one mass.
Like gathers.
Yes. It's not like a starfish or like an earthworm, right, where you cut it into two and then it turns into two different vampires. It's not how higher vampires work.
That would be funny.
So as far as you're
like if
concerned, this
so
is
like a high. Sorry, go ahead.
as far as you're concerned, this is completely different. Your Witcher training would tell you that logically there is something particularly magical in nature about this that has not necessarally been seen before.
Could it be magical
mine-
experiments?
Is my
Or it could be a
medallion-
monster that you've never seen before.
Yeah, is my medallion glowing at all off this mass, or is it just kind of chilling right now?
We'll say yes, but nothing like, no different than like any other monster might respond.
But just to clarify on the vampire thing, the reason why we can kind of discount a vampire is you're saying like if a vampire exploded into giblets, only one piece of the viscera would start moving to regenerate from.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it would be very, very slow also.
How
Yeah.
horrifying would that be, though, if we did just split a vampire up and there's like 18 vampires out of there? Ugh.
Like a hydra.
Yeah, right.
Use a rocket launcher to blow it into 1,000 pieces.
Right.
You're just surrounded by 1,000 tiny, slowly growing vampires.
I'm gonna get you!
The
So
plot thickens.
I guess then, can I use some sort of alchemy check to try and get some more information about like the origin of it and like composition to see if it seems like it's from something versus something artificially created?
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
you know, I've got this acid in my inventory that's literally burning a hole in my pocket to use. So I could
Now-
even maybe take one of the chunks and see how it responds to like different materials
Sure.
in my inventory, including the acid.
Sure.
Now, while Chad's doing that, I got a question for you, Chris. Let's make the roll. Excuse me. The emerald-eyed person, based off of the conversation with Zoldi, is connected to this somehow, right? Like it seems like that. Or were we just making the the deduction that she was connected to this.
You are connecting those dots, but
We are, okay, but there's no firm proof. Okay.
correct. The one connecting point that logically would make the most sense is what happened in the morgue.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the morgue, and then even like that illusion charm, right? The fact that someone had to create that charm.
Yes, you do know
and
that
it's like,
someone had to have created that illusion.
Okay. Okay, cool. I just wanted to clarify just so I wasn't like, lying.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to blow luck points on this just to get this to a threshold.
Ooh. I do have numbers written down of what you get.
The question is whether I want to use a little luck to get it. Because I rolled a 23, so I could spend 2 to get it to 25, or
You
I
have to
could
decide that
spend...
before you roll.
Oh, before I roll. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I already rolled, so I guess it's a 23.
23 is still pretty darn good. So that's on a 3-tier scale of what kind of information you get, that gets you the middle.
Okay.
So this is fascinating. You're able to deduce that this thing has multiple different types of alchemical components within it. And you happen to realize, as you're watching some of it writhe and writher, new ones are popping into it over time.
What do you
New
mean?
components, or...
Yes. New components. So we'll say predominantly right now, here, I'm going to pull up the alchemy fucking thing. So we'll say right now, most of them contain rebus as an alchemical component, but some of them, like, you let's say you're like poking around at one of the big masses, right, and it's got rebus and it's got some soul, and then you start poking at the other ones and they're all just mostly rebus, and then you go back to the big one and then you see it also has like cubrith in it, and that wasn't there before.
It has Qbert in there. He's just hopping on tiles, going up.
So just to clarify, you're saying alchemical components, but you're naming like the classifications of them?
Yes.
Is it like the flesh itself, I'm noting, has traits of those classifications? Or are you saying, like, for example, I'm trying to find the page, but like an actual material of that classification is like woven into the flesh?
So you're not finding specific things like ghoul marrow, for example.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
You're recognizing, based on the chemical reactions, what alchemical component values are. Like, they're reacting to different chemicals in different ways, and that's how you would know what the component would be.
Okay, so the flesh itself, then, you're saying is like reacting as if it is multiple different components, and how it's reacting is changing over time because the nature of its components is also changing over time.
Yes.
Ooh.
I guess my
Wacky.
first instinct to that, can I do a deduction roll on my assumption that maybe what these drowners were being used for isn't nefarious in the sense that they were part of some grand master scheme, but instead are more like harvesting nodes, like hosts for this weird foreign flesh.
You want to roll deduction for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to see if I feel like that is a solid like assumption to make at this stage.
Sure.
Working theory.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be 16 plus 8, 24.
Okay, so it's a little bit potentially... Well, okay. That is a valid theory, but there's something specific about it that doesn't quite feel right. Why the stomachs is the question that you're kind of stuck with. If they were being used to harvest,
Did they eat it?
why keep this flesh in their stomachs?
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that doesn't feel right about your deduction.
Yeah, but we do know that it was in some sense forced on them rather than being random material they ate that caused this, because they did have their mouths forced open.
They had their mouths forced open by the growth within them.
Okay.
So I'll say you don't actually know if they were force fed it or if they ate it by choice.
I guess I didn't get a good enough explanation, because when you mentioned their mouths were forced open, I was thinking like dental dam style.
No, their mouth was forced open by the protruding mass.
Okay.
I felt like almost like a frog pouch, right? And it like.
Yeah.
No.
Like it was the mass having grown within it that was erupting from their mouth that kind of forced their mouth open.
Could they be infected somehow?
What was that?
Could they have been infected somehow?
Yeah, my next thought, was if the components that I'm finding could be combined in some way to cause an alchemic reaction.
This is something I'm not sure
I
on.
think we need more information at this point.
Yeah, there might not be too much more, but at the same time, we don't know that there's really much more information to be had.
Well, I think this is something we can at least let Chappelle know about.
Can I do one last alchemy test or check?
Which friend?
Sure. What do you want to test?
So the last thing I want to test is just to see if I can check the nature of the components, because obviously I'm not going to have like a specific formula for it, but certain components tend to lend themselves towards certain types of materials, poisons, healing poultices, things like that, and see if the components that I'm finding in it in general are ones more likely to cause negative reactions or product.
I would say that based on what information you have, there's not a lot you could reasonably deduce on that. It feels too general to know if there's like a particular design behind the components.
Okay.
It feels random. Is kind of your takeaway.
All right, sounds good.
So each stats is different, and what components pop back on it, right?
Yeah. So I guess it's the more the impression I'm getting is there's something alchemical going on. It's some strange effect that specifically has to do with being in the drowner's guts. Because if it was just for harvesting, it would make no sense, one, that they were free, and two, that it would be in their stomachs where it would be less accessible than, say, grafted to the outside and they're chained up. But it seems at least the nature of the fact that it's like rotating and changing components doesn't seem like the components themselves are exhibiting for any specific reason so much as it's a byproduct of whatever is going on with this flesh.
Yes, that's a pretty good summary, I think, of all the learnings.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Gort went to the tavern. I think, is there anything else major we need to do before we break anything? I mean, I'd like to at some point try and sell some of these carcass pieces for crowns, but that could happen after we talk to Chappelle. I just want to make sure that
I would say one last thing I want to do with the flesh. I've got 4 of these wriggling chunks. I guess technically I have 7 now because we opened up the drowner's stomachs. Right, Chris?
You have how many?
I had 3. I had 4 chunks that I took off from the drowners at the very end, and then I have 3 stomachs that I opened up that was just more mystery meat.
Yes.
So that means I had 7 chunks in total.
Yes, that is correct.
So I would like to do 2 things. One, I would like to place 2 of the chunks right up against each other to see if they form back together in some manner.
Ooh. Okay.
And the other one is I want to burn one of my acid solutions. It does 2d6 plus 1d6 halved ablation damage to see if I can take one of the chunks and essentially try and reduce it to a point where it no longer is animate.
Oh, sure.
Like, essentially drop it in a bath of one of my acid solutions.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay. So you don't have to roll for that. You can just kind of see the results. Slapping the two chunks together, they do start to form together.
Okay.
It takes a little bit, like minutes, but it, as you saw when you slashed it and it started like self-healing, it basically is the same effect.
What happens if you put a lot of it together? Will it make a whole creature?
The one that you dropped in the acid solution, it takes a long time. Like, it seems like it's regenerating even while it's getting eaten away by the acid, but eventually, so it doesn't stop wriggling until it basically is decimated, or not decimated, but there's a better word for it.
Dissolved.
Yeah, fully dissolved. That's exactly right.
Now,
But it does dissolve that.
Tasty.
Does it what?
So it does dissolve. It doesn't reform.
It does dissolve.
and so it's now fully liquid inside the acid.
Yes.
Can I do anything to the acid to see what, like, the end state of it is, like, in terms of components?
What does it smell like?
Probably really foul.
It does smell pretty foul, especially based on the gas produced from it dissolving.
I feel like, is there like a nausea check?
I could make you do it, but you did just get out of the sewer, so I think you're a little bit more attuned to it.
It doesn't smell any worse than we do.
The residuals.
Fair enough.
The residuals in the acid don't appear particularly different from what you would just get from meat dissolving in acid generally.
Okay, so nothing unusual as a result of melting it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So it'd be like if I just threw like a piece of beef in there.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like the same ending slurry.
Yep.
And these all came from, and these stomachs, the tumors, all of them came from the same drowners at the very end, right, Chad? Those were all the same.
There were the drowners from the halfway point.
Yeah, so the stomachs were from the halfway point, but those stomachs contained essentially the same material.
So if I pull out the brain,
So
Chris,
the
like,
ones you saw later were more progressed.
yeah.
Correct.
If I pull out the drowner brain that I had, Chris, is there anything weird on the drowner brain? Because I do have a brain and a tongue from them from earlier.
Drowner brain and tongue are pretty standard fare drowner brains. Nothing weird about them.
Just making sure that, you know,
brains.
if this tumor or this mass was growing anywhere else outside of that. Chris, when it wriggled around, did it have any similarity to what I saw on those wargs, those wolves last time?
Define similarity. I guess what commonality are you looking for?
I guess I'm wondering, you know, like, because where the tongues were, I don't know, there was something like I don't know, like maybe the way they moved, or like, you know, if they had a life of their own at all. If there's anything that appeared to have like, oh yeah, this, you know, it looks like the same coloration, the same consistency. Because I did take some of those tongues initially.
Yeah, in terms of color, material, behavior, there isn't really necessarily anything. I think the only commonality you could draw between them is that they're both not normal.
Okay.
So like the tongues,
fair.
like that's not how wargs or wolves would look.
Right.
It could be magical in nature, or it could be something else. Like it could be a new monster.
So
that's kind of the same thing with this flesh.
Awesome. Well, we should probably put that little mass in a jar or something in case it tries anything.
Just imagine it running around in the middle of the night with a little knife, like pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter.
Yeah, no, Tony Brain is thinking full on alien. It's gonna like face hug me and then insert its seed inside of me.
Hell yeah!
And
Don't
then
give me
burst
ideas,
out of
Tony.
My initial thought was when we first saw these things, the way they were wriggling around, like this seems too alien to me, man. Way too alien, and I don't want to be infested and have babies popping out of me like that. So yeah, I would recommend the jar. I'm sure we have one between the 5 of us. and just toss that mass in a jar.
Cool.
A nice airtight jar.
I'm going to jump over to Gort.
At the
Okay.
tavern.
All right, Gort. So you slipped out while they were all fucking around poking their meat.
Sounds like a euphemism.
I mean,
There you go.
Smoking meat with the boys. Nothing weird going on at all.
Ah.
so Gort, where are you going to?
I am going to the tavern.
Okay, so Gort goes to the tavern. I assume it's the tavern that you've been frequenting while in Novigrad.
Yep.
Cool. So you go inside, you order a drink, they toss it to you, sit down, you enjoy your brew.
Yep. I think to myself, who needs, fancy medical skills where you got cold ale?
Cool. So I guess is Gort trying to do anything in particular, or is he just kind of chilling for now?
Just kind of chilling for now.
Cool.
I guess trying to eavesdrop on people's conversations too, just to take himself out of his head and stuff.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's not often that you fight a Catan, enchilada, Catacan. There we go.
Enchilada.
Go ahead and roll me awareness.
Okay. So awareness is intelligence. That would be a base of 8 plus 5. 13.
13. Okay. Most of what you kind of hear people chattering about is normal tavern nonsense, but you do hear people talking about your group. It hasn't gone fully unnoticed that people have been poking around the sewers. Even though that area is locked off, it's still pretty strange for non-residents to be allowed access where everyone else isn't. And so
I'm a resident.
That's true. But rumors are spreading. People don't really know what any of that means, but they want to keep it fairly hush-hush because they don't want the city to think that they're up to any trouble either, because they absolutely don't want to be on the bad side of the Novigrad secret police. But you do hear at least people talking about your group. Nothing good or bad necessarily, just more curiosities. So we'll say you spend a decent time at the tavern, and man, you gotta pee.
Alright, I'll probably down what's in front of me and then find myself a nice little cozy alleyway to relieve myself.
Cool. So you go out into the alleyway. Here, I'm gonna change the scene real quick just for.
I really hope
dramatic
there's an
effect.
alleyway with a person peeing, just yep, here we go.
I mean, I do have an alley, but boy, I wish I had someone. There is a drunk that stumbles through the video loop at some point. Cool. So you go outside and you start. You relieve yourself against the wall where hopefully no one will really step in the pee puddle. You put your stuff away once you're done, and you turn to go back toward the tavern, and you see a familiar face just kind of leaned against the wall, not looking at you, looking at the other wall, but he's kind of got his arms crossed and just kind of clears his throat as you kind of turn and face him. It is the king.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
It's going quite okay. I was actually looking to check in on you. How fares things?
It could be better, could be worse. My time in the tavern's making it better, so.
That's good to hear. I'm happy to see that you came out of the sewers alive. Is there anything of interest that happened down there?
I mean, not really. Someone needs to go down and regularly clean it because there were a lot of blockages and debris just everywhere.
Sometimes that could be for the best, considering how other groups in the city choose to use the sewers, but makes sense.
Yep, ran into a couple of drowners, surprise, surprise. And, just curious, while I was in the tavern, I heard a name that's unfamiliar to me being passed around. Ziggy or Siggy Reuben, something like that.
I know Ziggy.
At that,
Reuben.
he cracks a smile. What exactly are you looking for from Siggy Reuven, of all people?
I'm new to town. It just seems like he might be a, prominent player. Maybe he's got work.
Oh, a prominent player is an apt choice of words. I'll explain something to you. In Novigrad, there are 4 factions of groups who truly run this city. You would think that it would be the Church of the Eternal Fire, but truthfully, they don't really make much of anything happen in this city. Siggy Reuven is one of the 4 underworld leaders. He... Oh, shit. I should have had this page out, because I know the name.
Also, clarification, is it Siggy as in Siggy or Ziggy as in like Ziggy Stardust?
It is Sigi.
Sigi. And Reuben like the sandwich.
Yum.
Yep. Well, Reuven, so with a V, not a B. But pretty darn close.
Oh my gosh. Well, if he's a prominent lord of the underworld, I can't get his name wrong, so...
Well, shit, I actually don't know the name of their gang, but he has a gang, is more or less how he explains it. I swear, I tried to look it up and I couldn't get a straight answer anywhere. It's the only one I don't have a name for. There are 3 other factions. There are the Cut-Ups, who are run by Horson Jr., a real charming individual, he says very sarcastically. And then there are the Crown Splitters, which are run by Cleaver, a man named Cleaver, which is a rather rough and aggressive fellow. And then you have me, as yours truly, the King of Beggars. So where I would like to work with you and to help keep this city safe and maintain the status quo, if you will, Siggy Reuven is a rather interesting individual who at times has been cleverly power hungry. He's not as stupid as most of the rest of them.
Nice.
Basically, he's not to be trifled with, and I don't recommend you make dealings with him.
So we should kill him.
What has he done in the past to kind of prove that?
Well, he, much like most of the gangs here, run a lot of drug trade. They can get pretty violent and rough when needed. He's not as, what's a good word for it? Not as rough and unrefined as Horson Jr. or Cleaver, but he's smart, he's strategic, and he knows how to make his trade run efficiently. You probably could guess that he uses the sewers quite a bit to run his drug trade. That being said, we're at a reasonable balance. There is an agreement between the 4 of us not to step on each other's toes more than a certain allowance. Thus, this is why you don't necessarily see violence in the streets. If Siggy is trying to do something that could jeopardize the agreement. I don't know if you've heard something to the contrary of that, but worth your consideration, I suppose.
Gort's thinking really hard.
Well, I can leave you to your own. I you still know how to find me if you have any additional information to share. I still highly encourage you to share with me before you bring anything to the city proper.
Yeah. While we were in the sewers, we ran into a couple people working for Siggy.
It's probably nothing too serious, to be honest. I'm sure they were just up to standard business. I guess, was there anything odd about what they were doing?
Kevin, can't remember because it's been a couple of weeks.
They were pretty much doing their normal fistech
Doing their
trade.
drug.
Yeah, you encountered them while they were kind of barricaded behind a metal grate as drowners were trying to kill them.
And I murdered the hell out of those drowners.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, there was nothing particularly outstanding about what they were doing. Other than they were particularly cowardly, but
They really were. They were huge cowards.
Well, Gort's impression is that's how the entire gang is then.
I mean, they could be.
Is they're all very cowardly, but then I would relay that to the king. And be like, yeah, we saw them. If they were up to no good, like you said, they were probably doing up to no good stuff in a sewer. Perfect place to do it. They were behind a barricade. We killed a couple of drowners in front of them, and they kind of ran away like rats.
Well, good to at least know for sure that there were more drowners down there. Was there anything else?
Gort kind of looks up. No, not really.
Fair enough. Well, I wish you luck on your continued work. And like I said, you know how to find me, so I will leave you to yours.
I'm waiting for the
Bye.
king to beat Cord up or something, because he must know he's keeping info from him.
Yeah,
There's no way there's no information.
I mean, actually, that's... Go ahead and roll me deceit, because you are definitely withholding information.
Yeah.
Thanks, Yachak.
Good work,
Well,
Gotcha.
you know what? I was just gonna GM it and say that he knows, but I'll leave it up to a roll instead and give you a fighting chance.
See, I helped you.
I'm terrible at empathy. My base is 5 + 0. Let's see how this goes.
Hey man, if you
Explodes
explode,
twice. Explodes twice. 35.
5 + 7.
12.
12. I am terrible with math, guys. I apologize.
Oh, you're okay, bud.
I know
Me
that kind of
too.
slows down game nights too. So wait, what do my dice say? So I got a 12.
You notice that before he parts ways with you, he kind of frowns, and then he takes off into the night.
You fucked, dude.
maybe
Just out
he
of...
might not kill you, so that's okay.
Yeah, hopefully not. Well,
I don't think he'll kill you.
at least
I-
hopefully not while we aren't around.
I having no background information to like the Witcher lore and stuff. Can't get a read on this guy. I mean, being the king of beggars is probably like a good thing, but then again,
He's a crime lord.
Yeah,
Right.
And he did basically tell you that too.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Chris, I think the reason why you couldn't find a faction for Siggy Reuven is that it's because technically all the 4 leaders are all technically part of what's known as the Syndicate.
Yes.
So I'm thinking the other 3 leaders of the current leaders of the Syndicate all have specific factions, but he probably leans more on less affiliated people.
Oh yeah, he's more of an individualist than a gang leader. That totally
Right.
makes sense.
So
and-
he's the one that formed the syndicates to begin with. He basically united the different crime lords into at least cooperating with each other. So he probably doesn't have his own faction because he kind of scoops up the more less factioned members.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good call out. I think you're totally right, Chad. he still definitely has people that work directly
Yeah.
for him, but I think you're right. I think you're spot on.
They're not like a faction walking around like the clowns of the Horsons or things like that.
Yeah.
Who are like dressed up, or like cleaversmen, the dwarf gangs walking around with giant axes.
Yo.
So yeah.
Sign me up.
Cool. Was there anything else you wanted to do, Gort?
Probably head back in the tavern, get another drink, maybe complain to the bartender that there's no live music going on.
That's right.
Hey.
It's because I'm out of commission.
Let's see, we're gonna go back to the tavern screen and give you some tavern ambience.
Probably a good time for us to head over the tavern, right? Is there anything else we need to do, guys?
We'll bounce back over to the three of you. So
Sleep.
The one thing I did want to do before we leave is I'm going to, if Elvira's willing to buy them, sell all the components that we got in the sewers so we can split the money for it.
Sure. Let's see.
I already did the math for all of it. If you're okay with that,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
can tell you all the items I'm selling and their quantities, just so you have an idea.
Tell me what would be the total amount you would get from it?
Total amount I would get for it would be 430 gold.
Okay, so we'll say
Hell yeah.
she only can buy 200's worth,
Okay.
which I know gives you some more math, but she's not exactly flush with cash.
Yeah.
Was the concern.
So I'm gonna sell then the Optimum Matter and the Hag's Teeth, and that'll get me to 98, I believe, or 198.
Okay,
Just
cool.
between the two of those.
That's perfect.
Oh no, Hag's Teeth is 90. What's the 90? Oh, that is the Sulfur. So yeah, I'm gonna sell the Optimal Matter and the Sulfur, which will get me to 198.
Okay, cool. That sounds perfect. And she tells you, like, I wish I could buy more. I don't get that much business.
And then Chris, I think after we're done with like the stuff with Chappelle, I do want to like try and sell like some of this Drowner stuff I got for more crowns and crap. But I think that can come later. So
I was more thinking just while we were already
or the Alchemist, yeah. Anything else you want to do? Yeah, check. Are you going to join us to go to the bar or the tavern? Excuse me.
So I pass you both, Jacek and Edelmar. I'm going to pass you both 40 crowns.
Oh. I'm not complaining.
Nice.
Thank you.
Where's the
Is that
crown?
from the
Look
sale?
at that. A paragon in this world.
That's your portion of the sell of materials. Because we did mention that we were going to kind of split whatever we got.
Edelmar, how often do you see anyone actually being that respectful toward you?
Never.
I mean, to be fair, Edelmar and me do have history and are at least friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Edelmar
that's fair.
deserves it the most, honestly.
Yeah.
But people
so
try to slight Witchers all the dang time.
All the time. I appreciate this. It means a lot.
Of course.
So, should we meet Gordon in the tavern? Because I feel like we should not hold the Chappelle info off soon. Jacek, how are you feeling?
Yeah, is the treated status okay enough to like go out and about?
You're still in pain, and you'll still technically get negatives for rolls, but you can still go out and have a beer.
I'm still in pain too, Jacek, so it's good. We're all
So
in pain here.
let's take a shot together to feel better.
Yes. Yeah. So, as we start leaving,
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna not
The
double
doctor
back,
knows.
but as they're walking towards, I'll tell them, "Oh, just give me a second. I'll meet you guys over there."
Honestly,
And I
I'm a
probably need
little
to
slim.
eat a little bit of that flesh, Chris, because I don't think I've eaten in a while.
Hopefully you're eating the Drowner stomach.
Oh, you did take a little bit, didn't you?
I have a pound of flesh.
That's right. You do have
Oh
a pound
yeah,
of
you're
flesh.
right.
Yum.
Yep, I did
I
that
just
You
whole
at least
thing.
get to
handed,
cook
so I
it.
didn't-
No, there's really nothing about. I mean, we haven't been playing that has to be cooked.
Season it, like some steak seasoning.
Some
I
salt.
think it's just straight up. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
just eat it.
Ugh.
It's gross.
At least some tartar sauce or something, man. Like
Some A1.
It would taste like ash in my mouth. So really, that would be worse. So I'm gonna double back and find like a little hidey hole just to a little alley just to eat a little bit of this flesh.
Cool. We'll say you now have 2/3 of a pound of flesh.
Cool. All right, now I'm good to
Let's
continue
say I'm
on.
wearing a little sling.
Yeah.
A little sling from my shoulder.
Definitely.
You put a little like bruise makeup on your eye to make it look worse than
Oh my
it is. You know?
I do have a makeup kit.
That's it. I'm not surprised. I imagine Yachek
I think
would.
he's too vain to do that, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, gotta keep this face pretty.
Cool. So you all make it to the tavern. You see Gort already just kind of like having the time of his life,
I would
downing
drop
some ale.
40 gold in front of Gort, saying your portion.
Ooh, looks like you're getting paid today, barkeep.
And the barkeep's like, "Wait, you were gonna pay me?"
The barkeep's eyes light up. About damn time.
Vodka, please.
Make it 2.
I'm okay.
Pours 2 shots of vodka. Looks at you, Adelmar. Can I get you anything?
So Chris, between us, can he drink water? Is it
He
water?
has. Yeah, water is like
Required for
required for life. Yeah, you can drink water.
I was just making sure I didn't have to like
Yeah,
water.
Can he drink alcohol?
No, he cannot. Unfortunately,
I cannot drink alcohol.
he can drink elixirs and such. It's still not pleasant, but it's the difference between like magic stuff versus food. Alcohol is food, whereas elixirs are magic stuff.
Magic. Yep. So I'll just have water. Water.
Gort looks at you really, really
The barkeep sneers, but
oddly.
comes back with a pitcher of water and a cup for you.
I just drink out of the pitcher.
He goes, "Don't go too nuts with it."
Oh, I like the cut of your jib. To the bartender.
He winks at you.
Alright.
I'm sure Gort's probably like already like beers deep at this point. But with the shots, I probably would cheers with Yachek before I down mine.
Thank you to you, Doctor, for all your hard work keeping me alive.
Yes.
Slam
Thank you
it
for
back.
keeping me alive.
Slam it.
And we'll say Isolde at this point, like after everyone was patched up, she made it clear that she had stuff to take care of and
Sure.
took off.
Isolde also got 40 crowns, I imagine, too, right?
What's
I've
with
got
her?
a
She
running,
never
I've got
hangs
a
out
running
with us.
tab with Isolde right now. So
Yeah, she owes Reginald money.
no, I owe her money.
Oh, it's the other way.
She paid for my crossbow.
Oh, that's right.
So good. So as we're sitting here, can I roll awareness to see if people are watching us specifically? If there are people, I don't know, paying attention to us in general.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I roll an awareness of just how much, now that we're like sitting down and relaxing, can I roll awareness on just how bad I smell? Because like at this point I've removed like the mask with my own cologne on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris, I got a 25.
Oh yeah, plenty of the bars looking at you, particularly because you smell.
I got a 17 on awareness for how I smell.
Yeah, you're all pretty stanky.
I don't
Seems we got 2 reasons to go to the baths now.
I
Ooh,
feel
the
that
bathhouse.
I feel like we need to tell Chappelle before we start any other investigations, unless we
Yes,
want
of
to
course.
explore.
Wait, I want
This
to do an
first.
awareness check for hot people at the bar.
Yeah, go ahead. You still smell like sewer, but go ahead.
That's okay. I can look.
Some people are into that.
Sewer and blood.
$24.
Yeah, you find a couple of good-looking folks.
I do some smoldering eye contact.
We'll say you definitely catch plenty of eyes that like seem interested.
Oh, that's good. Interested. Good.
And as you go to approach some of them just like go off to the bathroom because you stank like poopy.
I do like that.
Oh boy.
Come back to the team dejected. We need to go to the baths now.
Yeah, perhaps after the baths.
Yeah, all right. We can take baths first. We always smell. I don't think there's ever been a day I haven't
Speak
smelled.
for yourself.
I
Indeed.
have.
Alvira has
never
made it
do.
quite a point that I should not wallow in the filth of the battlefield. So
One more
Before
shot
standing
before we
against
go.
Come again?
Hmm?
Wallowing in filth of a battlefield, huh?
yes, some take quite offense to the stench.
A good smell is a good day of work.
Some would
A harbor worker cheers you to that.
I lift up my water.
And then he scoffs at you as well.
Give Yachek a look of, I'm not agreeing with these people.
I'm with you, sir.
Yeah. Another shot?
I think we should.
Yeah, one more shot.
After you drink more, I think we should clean ourselves up before seeing Chappelle because
Third.
Yeah.
Witcher, why aren't you drinking with us?
I need to keep my head clear. It's important to my work.
Go ahead and roll the
Scrap for
seed.
cash, I'll buy you one.
I'm sorry. What am I rolling?
Go ahead and roll the seed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gort, go ahead and roll resist coercion.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, how much do our drinks cost?
Would it be resist coercion? Because he's not trying to convince him of anything.
I guess
Would
it'd be
be,
human perception.
Yeah, human perception.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh man, are you guys ready for this? So my empathy's a 1,
Lol.
and my deceit's a 0. So, I want to sink luck points into this.
It's a straight roll.
It's just we're just gonna straight up roll this. We're gonna see what
Plus
happens.
1 overall to your deception.
So am I still doing resist coercion?
No, you're doing
it's human perception.
Kevin.
I like the idea of all of us being aware that you're lying and just moving on.
I'm
Like,
gonna roll just to see if I'm aware of it.
My roll's not great, so we'll see. I mean, it's not bad for like what it is, but like, it's not-
I'll let you know. My empathy is a 5, and
Mine's a 1.
my human perception is a 0. So
Well, I'll tell you what I got right now, Kevin. If you want to know what your ob is, it's basically 8, 9. You have to beat 9.
So I got an 18.
I exploded
can I roll too?
downwards.
Oh,
Wait.
Ooh.
can I roll 2 for it?
Yeah, you could roll.
Because mine's good.
Oh, and then I got a 9.
Ooh. Does that
I
take
think
you
I
down
might have-
to a 1?
I got a 20.
So
Ha!
you definitely tricked the person who was asking.
Yes, because I got a 9. I rolled an 8 on my die. So,
Yeah, I'm a -5 on that roll.
oh my god, I could be like, hey, I got a bridge to sell you over here, and oh boy, okay. So I guess I won that one.
Yeah, I got an 18 on my human perception.
And I got a 20.
Okay, so Gord, yeah, you, as far as you're concerned, Edelmar's telling the truth. The two people who are not engaged in the conversation, you notice Edelmar's acting weirdly. You don't really understand what was
Cagey
going
about
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't understand necessarily what was going on with that conversation, but Edelmar definitely seems like he lied about something for some reason.
I just give Reginald a look, but I'm not going to say anything. Like,
Toast. Another shot of vodka.
So the spirits cost you each 10, and the beer cost 5.
Being sober saved me crowds. What's up?
Yeah. We could even
Alright.
say the reason why.
The barkeep tells you not to come back unless you order a drink next time, Edelmar.
you could pay him for the water.
You could also like buy food. Or I guess you wouldn't buy food.
I would not buy food either. None of those things would happen here.
So I'm gonna assume I had a running tab with the bartender that I'm finally paying in full.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't actually charged you yet, have I? But you have been going to the tavern quite a bit.
Yeah.
Chris,
So
I will throw
5,
2 crowns down, though.
We could say 20 crowns for you, and your tab is cleared.
20 crowns? Okay, so yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm still up 20 gold.
Nice.
And Chris, I put 2 crown down, or gold, or whatever you want to call it, down on the table for at least a, like, I took up space. You brought me water, so.
Hey, sweetie.
He nods, goes, all right, appreciated.
Mm.
I guess you can come back.
Mm.
Cool.
So I guess we're going to the baths because we stank.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, it's starting to get a little bit later in the day. Not quite evening, but certainly late afternoon, early evening. That like weird tipping point where it's starting to get dark, like dusk is beginning to set in. And you make your way to the bathhouse.
Oh, good. Okay, so it's still open. Okay.
They're still open. As you go to the front, you go inside and there's a little lobby. And there's a receptionist there, and they look at you, and he raises his eyebrows and holds his hand up to his nose.
Well, that's rather rude.
It takes everything in my being to not just hit this guy. No, I'm kidding.
I probably would just say, I assume you can tell why we're here.
Baths.
Yes, well, you will need separated baths. I can't let anyone as foul-smelling as the lot of you to enter the main public bath.
Yes, one of the side ones would be
Bad.
sufficient.
Okay, that will be 35 crowns a person.
Meh.
I mean, we did just make money off it. Yeah.
Yeah, if we need it, I have money. Money's money.
I mean, I just gave everyone 40 crowns, so if we split it, we definitely can cover it.
I mean, I have 38 crown. I just need to fix my stuff at some point, but there's still other things I can sell.
You said 35, right, Chris?
Yes, that is correct.
So that would be 9 gold apiece.
Wait, I thought it
No,
was
per person.
No, per person.
Yes.
So
It's not cheap. A hot bath. A hot bath
Sorry.
normally, for context, is about 16 crowns, and this would be like, I don't know, like a simple tub with hot water. This is a public bath that you know is run by the mob, basically.
And we're getting a private bath.
And you're getting a private bath on top of that.
Is there anywhere I know I can go to where I can just scrub off in like a pond or a body of water that is not?
You could jump in the ocean.
I'm gonna go jump in the ocean.
I think I'm following Edelmar with that.
I look at that and say, what's their vernacular on swears? Do they have normal swears in this world? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Bloody
fuck
arse. Yeah.
Fuck this. And then I turn around, I'm going in the ocean, and I walk out.
How much to get a massage on top of it?
I look at Chuck and Reggie and go, I'm going with him.
10 more crowns
A
on top.
massage? I would love to purchase a massage, please.
Sure.
Just the bath for
after
me is
you're
fine.
bathed.
Of course. I have the funds. I am treating myself because this has been the worst week of my life.
Okay,
Well,
so
just think of the pay.
Jacek pays, and Reginald pays.
Yes, minus the massage. No massage for Reginald.
Okay, so
I can't afford it.
Bougie.
he takes the two of you into private baths over on we'll say the east side of the bathhouse, and they're pretty nice. Like they are sequestered, but they're in this kind of little like, there's like crosshatch kind of like wooden like fake walls, so you can see through it, but it still gives you a little bit of privacy. So they still have you like kind of dump a couple buckets of water over yourself before you hop in the bath proper. But he does give you the option if the two of you want to go in a bath together, if you want each of your own little individual baths.
Does it save money to share?
In this case, no.
Yeah.
Might as well get the private one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't
We're
really
paying
matter
for
to
it.
Reginald, but yeah, if it's not a difference in price, it's like, well, yeah, take the private bath
Yeah.
instead of being forced to share.
Sure. We'll at least say though that the two of you are adjacent to each other,
Able
so
to
you can
talk
talk
through
through
the wall.
the wall.
Yeah.
You know, it's free. The ocean.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over at the docks, here we'll even jump back to the docks view here.
Oh, Jen, I
Yeah.
love that huge water bottle.
I
Yes.
told Jen that I was jealous of it last time I saw it.
Don't encourage them.
Oh, I will
Why?
encourage.
I'm sitting here with this.
Get
I was so proud of
hydrated.
it, and then I saw it, and now I'm like, oh, I really.
Yeah,
need to
I just have a pint glass. That's what I'm drinking my water out of. So yeah.
I need a bigger one.
So Adelmar and Gort just plop right into the ocean, just like, splashing that salt water into your armpits and nonsense. Do you take off your gear first? Like, do you jump in naked, or are you jumping in full
Oh
gear?
yeah. No. I mean, well, does the gear also smell?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they went in the sewers
Yeah.
with you.
I mean, I guess like what? I guess is that how we clean it off too? Like for the baths, are you guys also getting your armor?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's gonna also like clothes
Yeah.
are included as part of the cleaning process.
We'll say the buckets
They do
that
laundry
they wash you off with in the
Yeah.
beginning, they give you like scrubs and soap that you can use to clean your equipment as well.
For $35, it better come with towel service.
So Chris, basically what I do is I take off my armor first and like so I can bathe myself, and then I take my armor and like dunk it in the water and like so I can actually not like do a real clean, not just like and I am gnarled. My body is just full of just like stabs and scars and like I'm a beat up old man.
Okay, cool. I want you, Edelmar and Gort, to roll me an awareness check.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right.
Have fun. Do our private baths comes with different like scent treatments?
Oh, I hope so. I best be perfumed when I walk out of here.
I've got a bit of cologne.
Yeah, we'll
I do
say
too.
that the soap at least has like kind of a scent with it, but if you want something more extravagant, you have to pay more for it.
Well, I have my
add-on.
own. I'll just use my own perfume.
Yeah, I've got my cologne for afterwards, so
But it's still
I-
nice. Like these are nice hot baths.
yeah.
Oh,
I got a 19 in my awareness check.
Okay, Gort, how about
I got
you?
a 12.
Okay, so Gort, you're more prioritizing just getting washed off. You're also a few beers in, so you're a little bit less cognizant.
I was gonna say he probably fell for the deception in part because he was like 5 or 6 beers.
Yeah, right.
But then again, I'm a dwarf.
That's true.
But
You do
that's
have a
still-
heartier tolerance.
That's still at least tipsy for most people.
I assumed like anime style that little red line just to show like tipsy. I'm feeling warm.
I love those anime tipsy characters. Oh, it's good.
Edelmar, you notice something rather odd though while you're kind of scrubbing off, and obviously the two of you kind of are trying to be more off to the side, so you're not like.
Right, we're not just like two naked dudes like
Yeah.
in the middle of the ocean, like water fight, like none of that.
But you do notice a small boat, from kind of like, not deep in the ocean, but it kind of like looks like it probably skirted around the side of the coast. It actually pulls into the dock in kind of one of the more like off to the side docking areas. And you hear, some whispers and people get out of the boat. It's not necessarily anything that weird because you don't necessarily know how the dock workers do their business, but it is a bit odd at this time of the day, and you do notice something in particular about the people that get off the boat. They're all wearing uniforms.
What kind of uniform?
So their armor is predominantly red with some black, and they've got like a leather strap that goes across their cheek to their other cheek that goes across their nose with little like metal studs. You can roll me education if you'd like to see if you would recognize who these people are.
I don't have it, but I'm happy to give it a shot. So I think that'd be the only one that makes sense, because these aren't monsters, so... I fumbled. Hold on. Let's see how bad this is.
Hell yeah.
Great. I got a 4 because of my fumble.
Jesus.
So you've got no clue who these people could be.
Great.
They don't seem like dock workers, and you know that the city is still technically in lockdown. Obviously, some people still go in and out based on like allowances or critical resources. But they don't seem like they would be part of this, which is why it strikes you as odd.
Do they look armed based off of the awareness of 19?
Yes, they do have swords.
Isn't there
And
like,
some
wasn't there some
crossbows.
ruling about having weapons on you here? No, right? There are people allowed to have their weapons.
They basically said just don't draw your sword. But you can carry your weapons on you.
Okay, do they take notice of us?
No, not really.
But their boat is there, right?
Yeah. They dock, they tie it up, and then they just kind of walk off.
I want to clock what direction they're going, because this is odd.
Sure. They're moving eastward. We'll say we'll say they go more north side after they get kind of past the main dock area.
Was it just like a little rowboat, or was it like a big boat? Like,
It's definitely a smaller boat. So imagine a 1, 2, 3 bench kind of rowboat.
okay, so there's a rowboat. Are we close to that boat?
Yeah, reasonably. I mean, you could go over to it at this point if you want.
Yeah, I just want to take a look. Is there anything in the boat?
No, nothing left in the boat. It seems like it was just a simple transport.
Yeah.
If
I
they took everything that they brought with them.
Hey, Gort, are we basically cleaned up at this point?
Yes.
Gort, it's not normal for me, but there's something odd about those guys. You want to follow them with me?
And Gort's just kind of like wringing out his beard. What do you mean odd?
I explain about the armor, and I don't know, they just don't fit in with any of the factions that I've seen so far in my short time here. And something just felt strange. Why dock this far away, right? There's plenty of, I point out the closer docks, there's plenty of closer docks. It's suspicious. And with everything going on here right now, suspicious means bad.
I'm not the best at subterfuge, but then again, if you knock someone unconscious, how can they say you were there?
Let's just maybe follow at a distance and see what we find.
I mean, we're a witcher and a dwarf. We're gonna look pretty suspicious.
I have my tricks. I stand up, shake off, any of the remaining things. I put my armor back on, and I offer Gort a hand to help get him out of the water if he wants to take it or not.
I would say as you walked like deeper in to like submerge yourself,
Yeah.
I kind of stayed back at like
Okay.
what would be waist level for you, but chest
Yeah.
level for me.
Perfect.
Because you're like
Alright.
plus 6 foot, right?
Yeah. I was playing this character a little bigger. Absolutely.
All right, because I thought you were like a tall, lanky witcher too. So
No, I'm a thicker witcher. I'm definitely like built.
Like a
Okay.
tree trunk.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly.
Got that pushing for the cushion for that
Yeah,
pushing.
I got that cushion for that pushing.
Muscle.
Nice. So yeah, if Gort's down to follow, I don't mind trying to track these guys down at least a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah,
What skill would you like to roll, each of you? I want you each to choose a skill, but it can't be the same one.
I'm thinking stealth.
Okay. Stealth for Edelmar. How about you, Gort?
Stealth was a good one.
Do you have streetwise?
I do not.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
You know what? I've never used this skill before, so let's go with it. Tactics.
Ooh, okay. Let's do it.
Fun.
All right. So we just do our rolls?
Yes.
I'm going to throw 2 luck points at this.
Ooh, okay.
I'll do the same. I don't know why, but I got 17.
Cool.
And I got 18.
Okay. Huh. Boy. Nice. So you follow them for a decent bit. You track them down. They're definitely sticking more going strictly north at this point. But it doesn't take too long for them to notice you, Adelmar, following them. One of them happens to look back at just the wrong time, and they kind of cock their head, and you realize that they've seen you. So they
Ruh-roh.
realize that you're there, keep going, realize you're still there, and so they've deduced that they're being followed. With Gort's tactics roll, however, even though... So Gort basically helped with the tactical roll of if one of you got caught, at least the other would still be able to follow them for a decent bit. So they managed to get away from you, but Gort actually ended up following them a little bit further. You see, you're not able to get very close, but you do see them go past the bridge that goes to the church. I mean, the church is on like an island that's connected to the main chunk of the coast. So imagine like 2 large land masses, and then there's like a big arching bridge that kind of connects it, and the church is kind of highest elevation point of it all.
Did Gort get an education roll after Edelmar kind of pointed them out?
You know what? No, not yet, but Gort, you can roll that if you'd like.
Education.
Just to see if you you know what faction they are.
All right, so that will be a 0 plus 6 plus grand total of 11.
So similarly, you don't particularly recognize them. You may have seen people that dress similarly in your past, but nothing immediately sticks out to your memory. Trying to think. There is... We'll say there's a strange burning, though, in your brain that feels like you should remember them.
Ooh. All right.
Cool. Otherwise, they get away from you at this point.
It's fair. I think we just wanted to really clock where they were at, so good.
Yeah. We'll jump back to the 2 in the bathhouse. So you 2 are, at this point, like, you're washed up, you've relaxed, you're
real good. Especially after 2 shots.
You're in the process of getting the massage. They're doing
that's the spot. Oh, it's perfect.
Is there anything in particular that the 2 of you would like to do inside the bathhouse?
I'm gonna make small talk with masseuse.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. I thought we'd be making small talk when we were like in our respective baths, because we have that like half gate or whatever between us.
I mean, you can have the small talk before the massage, if that would be
Right.
preferred. Yeah. So you're not getting the massage yet, but you know it'll be here, and you know, basically when you call for them.
Yeah.
This bath is divine.
So it is quite nice, especially after wallowing in the sewers for a few hours. So, what makes a bard by trade join into something like this? I kind of get everyone else in the group who's part of this, but it seems an odd addition.
Honestly, it's hard to say no to the money.
That's fair. Any specialties that you would say you really kind of bring to this type of thing?
Well, I suppose I understand people better than most of you.
That's fair. It seems a good half of our group eschews normal conversation most of the time, so I don't blame Elmar too much, but he can be abrasive at times.
Also, I feel like people like sharing information with bards because I can make it into a story. I've had people my whole life tell me things that I can write a song about. In fact, they won't shut up most of the time, so I guess it comes with the job.
Some people are rather quite proud of themselves. I certainly got acquainted with the type when I was learning in Oxenfurt.
I believe it, but all sorts think that I can get them famous.
Yeah. So a rare individual that really gets that sort of memorialization, so.
Well, I'll have some worthy stories after this, I'll say.
Sounds good. Seems it'll be mostly probably the other three, unless you have a word about a handy crossbow, but otherwise.
I do have to say, I'm quite impressed with your crossbow skills. I did not expect it.
Well, when you're traveling the byroads, going village to village, sometimes you need to rely a little bit more on yourself than on nearby guards.
That makes sense. I can't believe this is the only wound I've escaped with so far.
Well, fortunately, it wasn't as severe as we were afraid of. It certainly got the drop on all of us and just happened to choose you first as a target, so.
Yeah, with all the drowners in the last month or so, well, won't be too soon if I never see one again.
Yes, I don't believe there's very many people that enjoy interacting with drowners. Witchers aside, of course.
Can you both roll me an awareness check?
17.
19.
Shouldn't have even asked. Carry on. I exploded twice.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. So you're base 20 already. Great.
About to take like a poison dart to the side of the
I know.
conversation.
Literally as I'm talking about being physically okay.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, Jacek. I'm actually familiar with everyone else in our little group, but so you've been a bard in Novigrad for how long at this point?
Oh, I don't remember. Long enough. Well, I was. Where was the city that like had the king murdered, or whatever it was?
Oh, you're talking about Vizima?
Yeah, wasn't I there before? And then I went to Novigrad after. I think that was the backstory.
Yeah.
Well,
did you get out?
I
like
did.
Right when shit was going down. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah. I was busking in Vizima before this for quite a while, and you can imagine how that went.
So you've probably only been in Novigrad for about a year, give or take. Like, if you left as soon as the air started getting stinky with what was going on, like, yeah, it would really only be about a year.
Yeah, so I've been here a year, but I adapt to cities pretty quickly.
Yeah, timing was probably just pretty good for your case, I guess.
Or pretty terrible.
Yeah,
Depending on how you look at it.
yeah, I suppose so. With this recent drowner incident, is you've just landed yourself in another hot pot.
I could have gone anywhere else.
No.
Oh well,
Here
doing
you are.
pretty okay.
Yeah,
I've got
and
to do a few things.
There are crowns to be made now, so, well.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
A lot of my competition didn't fare so well.
Well, I'd wish I could say the same about all the bloated individuals down in Oxenfurt, a bit too proud of themselves, but that's why I end up traveling around, just to get away from all the supposed doctors that litter the streets in the area.
Oh, don't have too many friends there, do you?
Well, let's just say my first training took place during the war. And so coming back to a group of gentlemen who experience went only as far as the pages on a book seemed a little simple, childish. And they definitely didn't have the ego they definitely didn't have the skills to back up their egos, so.
Oh, I've met those types. I'd say
Yes.
they're in every industry.
Yeah, so a lot of them, especially Novigrad's not so bad, but Oxenfurt I basically try to avoid now because most of the doctors there are just taking up space drinking and pretending like they're doing important work.
And where was it you met the good alchemist?
Oh, Elvira, yes. I've actually known her for the majority of my life. Though, of course, we spent some time apart from each other a number of years.
So, anything going on there?
Well,
Raising my eyebrows aggressively.
Yeah. I probably can't see the eyebrows through the grated fence between us, but the tone is probably unmistakable. Yeah. Well, we are lovers, of course, and I suppose it is a bit odd since she is much older than me, and was
I wouldn't have guessed. She looks great for her age.
Well, being a sorceress will do that.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yes. It's also how Azoldi and I are acquainted, is through Elvira, so...
Oh, okay, that checks out.
Yes, so... It's been a rough couple years since we lost touch, but, you know, it's nice to know that she's doing well, and that at least it wasn't an aspect of her relationship to me that kept us apart.
What kept you apart, then?
Just the war going on. I ended up going back to the battlefield to serve for another few years, just trying to keep people together, and being a sorceress, it wasn't in her best interest to be on the front line in a lot of those scenarios.
Certainly. Well, I'm sure plenty of the people from the war owe you their lives.
I wish I'd saved more than I did, but, you know, there's only so much you can do.
You're only one man.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's the goal. Everyone dies eventually, but as a doctor, you try your best to prolong it.
Hear, hear.
I really want a drink of vodka now.
I know. Why don't we bring it with us?
Right.
Cool. We'll bounce back over to Gort in Edelmar.
So I'm guessing at some point I probably catch up with Gort, or does Gort have to find me again since they caught me?
We'll say you two meet up, no problem. As you knew what Gort was doing, so you know how to find him. So you meet up within moments.
So where were they going?
You see the church on the hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to just run in there because I doubt there are monsters that way, but do I know what church that is, Chris? Like, would I happen to know just like...
We'll say that it's pretty hard to be in Novigrad and not know what that church is. That is the Church of the Eternal Fire. That is...
I figured, okay.
That is like the main leadership of this city-state. That being said, the area where the church is surrounded by other stuff. Like, it's not just the church there. It's just the prominent feature of that area.
We may want to explore more of that later when we have more of the group, I think.
I was going to say, we need to get paid.
Yes, we need to talk to Chappelle, but he might have some information about what this is. So, let's go back to the bathhouses. I do a little smell check on myself. Better than before.
Yeah, considering that you didn't have soap, it's okay.
Good enough.
Had you been patient and asked before you left, I did have soap on me.
So do I. I also have soap.
That's funny. That's very funny.
But let's, I don't know, go back to the bathhouse. Maybe we don't have to go back in. I had like that person at the desk. They were rude.
Well, there's probably like a courtyard in front of the bathhouse.
So why don't we go there and wait for the other two, and we should probably go see Chappelle after this.
Or, hear me out, we can dip into the tavern real quick and then meet them at the bathhouse.
If you'd like to get a drink, sure, that's fine. I think we have time. Maybe I'll see what I can hear while we're in there.
Alright, sounds settled. And whatever the closest tavern is, whether it's the one I've been frequenting or just a random one off the side of the road,
I will
mean, there's-
recommend that it's one on the way to the bathhouse, so it's not a super far walk from there.
Or I guess the tavern closest to the bathhouse, assuming that Novigrad has like 18 taverns.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, they absolutely do. The one closer to
Okay.
the bathhouse is going to be a little bit more of a ritzier place, whereas the one by the harbor is going to be full of dock workers, so it's rough and rowdy.
Ooh.
You know what?
I mean-
Just narratively, I want to see what happens when we go to the ritzy place.
All right.
I mean,
sounds good.
it's not like fancy schmancy, but they definitely kind of give you the up and down look when you come in, but otherwise, as long as you're buying things, they seem to be cool with it.
And that's where I like to busk.
So we'll say you seat yourselves at the bar or a table. What, I guess, do you sit at the bar or do you sit at like a little side table or booth?
Straight up bar for Gort.
Yeah.
Cool. So you both sit at the bar. Barkeep
Yeah.
swoops on over to you, looks at you, Gort, raises his eyes. What can I get you?
Ale.
You got it. Comes back with ale. Says 5 crowns.
And I give him 5 crowns.
Beautiful. Looks at you, Adelmar.
And they basically said as long as you buy something, you're okay, right?
Uh-huh.
I will also take an ale.
It's just casually pass it to Gore when he's done with the one he's working on.
he looks at you and seems confused why you just winked about it.
I will also have an ale.
Every time he looks away, you just pour some of yours into his.
Yeah, comes back with an ale, 5 crowns.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and a water too, please. I need them both.
Sure. Comes back with water as well. And then goes back to attending to the other patrons.
I personally want to see if I can, I don't know, listen in for any conversations, maybe see if anybody else, I think I'm trying to listen out for anything about people that may match the description of either those guys we saw walking through in case anyone else happened to see them, or anything about the emerald eyed woman, because I want to see if we have any more information on there. I just want to hear anyone say anything.
Sure. Go ahead and roll.
Awareness, yeah?
Yes.
That's a much better roll than last time. So that is 7, 8, 15, and 25.
25, pretty good. So you hear a decent bit of chatter about what's going on just outside of the walls, actually.
Sure.
So obviously with the city being closed out, and it's only been a couple of days at most, obviously it still blocks up a lot of traffic that would otherwise be going in and out of the city. So you hear people talking about, how frustrating it is. There's all these people outside of the walls, all these merchants that are just like having to set up camp while they're waiting for the doors to reopen because Novigrad just won't let them in. And everyone's getting pissy about it. It's making life hard for everyone, especially the people who need trade to make their money. So there's a lot of pressure right now that Chappelle needs to just fucking open the doors, and they don't really, they're not going to cross the Novigrad secret police, but at the same time, people got to make their money. So it sounds like Chappelle's actually in a losing battle, and the people above Chappelle may actually just open the city, whether or not he calls it. They also are talking a lot about how there's other groups that are outside the walls that are kind of weird, and the descriptions you're hearing sound similar to the people that you saw show up on the harbor. The chatter is like, the hell are these people doing? What are they, just mercenaries? Why are they showing up here now?
Okay, perfect. Nice. And then while that's happening too, I'm, gonna talk with Gort just a little bit while I'm listening in. I'm not one for a lot of conversation, but I want to thank you, Gort, for all the work you did against that Catachan there. You had good eyes during that.
Yeah, speaking of, what the hell? I feel like my weapon did shit against him.
You all need silver. We need to find silver or
Blade
magic,
oils.
or blade oils. Right? Yes. I don't think I have any formulae for blade oils.
You don't have any formulas, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to get them.
I do have a necrophage and vampire oil formula, but I don't know if it's a blade one, or I don't know if that would be like.
Yes.
But that's just a formula. We have to make that. I don't have like.
You have a necrophage blade oil formula and a vampire blade oil.
It's like literally
formula.
what you thought.
Those are literally the two things you have been fighting this campaign.
Yeah, so I have the formula, which means that like someone needs to
You
build
pass it to me.
Okay,
And I get it.
There's so much stuff going on in this. Like, dude, there's so much.
Yeah. It means you pass the formula to me and say, make this for me.
Well, we also didn't know a vampire was coming through.
True. That was a surprise attack.
Zero idea. And necrophages, those are what the drowners are considered, right?
Drowners, ghouls, grave hags, they're all necrophages.
Rot fiends.
Rot fiends, yep.
Okay. Again,
It's so fun. I totally forgot I gave you both of those.
I kind of forgot about that too, because like there's so much crap going on. I'm like, I've got a formula for it. Okay, so we can at least make that. So yeah, either steel or we can start using these formulas.
Silver.
Right, yes, yeah. I mentioned silver at the. I'm sorry, yeah, silver, not steel. Yeah, silver. Or these formulas that I think the doctor can whip up.
For
Sounds
some
interesting.
for some level of context, Adelmar, a Witcher would probably not willingly share diagrams for crafting silver weapons because it's literally your livelihood. However, giving someone a blade oil to use is not unreasonable if they're working with you. Giving them the formula, though, would also compromise your livelihood.
So I would basically take this to my own guy and have it made. I have to find someone who'd be a Witcher if I don't want to share that.
Yeah. I mean, you could work with, say, like Reginald to make it, but it would be very uncommon and not normal for a Witcher to just like fully just give it to another person to be like, there you go, have fun with it. Because if they copied it down, then you're screwed.
Right. So what would be the best practice then for these guys? So do I just say, get your SOL?
Well, you could work with them to make blade oils and then just give them the blade oil. They could try to reverse engineer it, but honestly, Witcher decoctions and blade oils are a little too complicated to just do that easily.
Okay, so I guess in this case, I would just essentially tell Reggie what I would need.
Yeah. I mean, he can even work with you to brew it.
Okay,
But you're just not going to give him the, like...
he's just not going to have the time to study the formula, so it won't be in his brain.
Okay,
if he wanted to try to recreate it without the formula, he could try, but it would be difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then yes, we can definitely work on doing that. I kind of forgot I had that in there too.
The reason why the context is important is because this is why you don't see everyone running around with silver weapons.
Cool. Then I did not say anything about silver weapons. I'll just say that I have a silver weapon, which makes my life easier.
You could say that. That's still okay, because making a silver weapon is not easy. Like, there's a reason why you have special silver weapons that don't just break when you use them.
Right. So yeah, I think we can put something together though to make it work in the future if we're going to run into more of these, especially if we're into more Catacan, because I need to hunt that down and I need to end this, or they'll be back again, and we don't want that.
You had mentioned silver weapon. What about like a dwarven or elder folk made weapon?
Would monster lore help me know if that would work, Chris?
Yes. I mean, you would generally just understand this, and there are some monsters that are weak to steel. You just haven't encountered any yet.
Right.
Elder folk weapons don't typically get made with silver, so it probably wouldn't make a huge difference. Well, okay. Maybe you could make that argument. So you could make a meteorite sword, which which would technically be the true steel weapon that monsters would be weak to. So normal steel technically isn't supposed to do anything special to monsters. It has to be a meteorite steel sword, and that's what Witcher bullets
a
are.
space sword.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make space sword.
So that means that my steel sword can also, because it's got meteorite, can also damage most of the same creatures with the same amount of issues.
It can deal base damage to monsters that are not resistant to normal steel. Like, there are monsters that are resistant to silver, and you would use your meteorite sword on them.
Okay, so any ones that we have fought, if I tried to use my meteorite sword, it would still have done the partial damage.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So
It's different categories or monsters are weak to different one blade or the other. Literally, when
we've run into all silver, right? So far for the monsters.
Yes, yeah. Necrophages are all silver. Vampires are silver. Literally in the books, when Geralt says they're both for monsters, he literally means they are both for monsters. It's not that humans are monsters.
Right.
That takes some of the fun away from that speech.
I mean, he also uses them on humans, so
yeah, he does.
It's for monsters. It's just multiple.
It's for monsters. Okay, cool. Yeah. So sorry, guys. I totally forgot about that formula I had. I just didn't think about it being like. I guess I keep forgetting that drowners are considered necrophages, and that's just more of I don't know. I forget what necrophages are. So.
Yeah. But for to actually answer the question about the elder folk weapons. There's nothing else about them that would necessarily be better against monsters, but some of them are particularly good at hurting humans. In fact, some of them are arguably monstrous by design. There are some that are designed to inflict maximum pain and not kill.
Torture!
Scoia'tael have invented some truly terrifying things.
So
I was looking at the Elder Folk Armory, so I figured I'd ask about it. And character,
no.
so...
Essentially no, but they're still dangerous.
Anything, though, that's, like, magical, though, could potentially deal better damage against monsters.
Better damage.
Depends on the magic.
Also, it sounds like people are having chatter about those same folks. No one really knows what they're here for. Might be a good thing to ask Chappelle about. Are you y'all done with that drink there, Gort?
So you've been slowly pouring your drink into mine, correct?
No, I have not. No,
That was my suggestion.
I'm just nursing the drink while drinking my water.
Edelmar, in that case, I would like you to roll me a an endurance check.
No, I have not been drinking it. I've been nursing it. Like, I've just literally let it sit there while I'm drinking my water. Like, I am not touching the drink. Okay. I basically just have it in front of me, like I am nursing it.
I see. I thought by nursing you meant you were very slowly sipping from it.
Nope. Just to make it look like, I'll play with it every so often to make it look like, I'm trying to. I do have no intention of trying to drink right now unless the social situation demands it, and it hasn't. So,
all right.
Do I notice this?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. To you, Gord, this is probably like very strange.
What you want? Do you want someone to put a nipple on that thing? Suck it on down.
It's okay.
Then. Mind if I have it?
Sure, yeah, here. And I throw it over.
And Gort like slams it back, and you can tell like just boom and more beer drippings like entwine into his beard.
Gort, go ahead and roll me an endurance check.
Gort's getting food.
That's one of the things I'm very good at.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you're probably gonna be fine.
Did you fumble?
No, I exploded.
Yeah,
dang.
you're good. I was only doing like DC 16 on that one.
19 plus 15.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
24. You're good. You're
You
good.
have
You're,
like 3 more.
you're rock solid. Yeah, you really could. Cool. We'll jump back over to Reginald and Yachek.
Feeling nice and relaxed.
Yeah, are you having the massage? Are you passing the massage? Where do you want to be?
I want to do the massage because I want to chat with the
masseuse. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. So the masseuse is hammering away at you, giving you the old Swedish karate chop.
like, oh yeah. So I want to do some like small talk where I'm trying to fish out just a little information about the bathhouse and Siggy.
Sure.
So I'll start with a simple one of like, how'd you get such good hands? I say it flirty. How'd you get such good hands?
Well, years of practice, of course. I've been trained in the arts of massage.
Well, you certainly excel.
I appreciate the compliment. I'm happy that my services are of satisfaction.
This bathhouse must be paying you a lot to have gotten you to stay here.
Well, you know, it is a place of decent elegance, and the clientele tends to be generous.
Absolutely. I don't know what
So if you're trying to coerce information out of him, I would say deceit is a reasonable, because deceit is more than necessarily lying, like a direct lie.
Yeah,
like
and
you're deceiving him into relieving information.
Yeah, I just want him to, like, I'm not looking for anything in particular, just any information I can get from him.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you could...
Unless I could use seduction also.
You could try to seduce him, and that would leverage some information and then other bonuses to deceive beyond that point.
I'll do that.
Sure. Go ahead.
My seduction's way better.
Go ahead and roll. He will attempt to resist coercion.
Uh, 25.
Okay, you're good. We're gonna say
Damn, you're good at that.
Yachek's a sexy motherfucker.
Yachek is sexy, and I mean this dude is
What are those eyelashes?
touching your body. So we'll say you like posture during the massage in just a way to like. We'll even say you. Actually, you know what? I'll let you decide. How what do you do in particular to try to seduce this guy?
Maybe I'm less careful with the covering than he
That
is.
was exactly where my brain was going. We'll say it works. You notice him kind of hesitate a little bit, but he decides not to fix the towel.
Oh, and I do like some eye contact, like, so he knows I want him to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he looks back, gulps, and continues to work.
So tell me more about working here.
I'm
sure you have some good stories.
Oh, there are plenty of very interesting people that come in and out of here. Certainly have seen all sorts. I mean, you know, there are plenty of dangerous, powerful folks that have made their way in here, but it's usually worth it, despite the risks.
What kind of risks are you taking?
All right, now roll me deceit.
Okay. Fair enough.
But he's at negatives for his...
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, I explode.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and I only got a 1 on that.
Yeah, but still.
Plus 11's a plus 11.
24.
Okay. He exploded also.
Oh, shoot.
But we're gonna
His
say...
pants.
Oh, gross. I love it. That took my brain a second to connect with
You know what?
just said.
Extra luck point to you, Gort, for good humor.
Woohoo! Woo!
Okay, so we're gonna say you barely pass. But he basically tells you stories of how there have been multiple times in which, like, the other gangs make appearances here. In fact, a lot of discussions will happen between cross gangs here, and every now and then there's conflict that comes out of it, and shit will get torn up a little bit. It's not often that common folk just go into the bathhouse, both because it's expensive as hell, but also people generally know that this is not a place for the common folk. Mm-hmm. So it's actually pretty uncommon for folks like yourselves to show up here. And so that's why people don't necessarily know, like, if a fight breaks out between gangs here and walls are torn up, like, maybe every once in a while someone will witness it and just be ushered out quickly. But
is it supposed to be a neutral zone?
All of the city is basically neutral for the gangs. The syndicate has an agreement. So they know not to go on each other's turfs, but they're welcome here to do business.
Okay. Yeah,
But obviously, sometimes business goes south, and that's why it's occasionally dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Well, I'm glad you've never been hurt.
Well, I have at least a battle scar or two. And he kind of raises his shirt a little bit, and you see his glistening six-pack with a little tiny scar across one of them.
Yachek does one of
little tiny nick.
Yachek does one of these.
You feel very tense all of a sudden.
Oh, I wonder why.
So are we clipping this whole part because this is getting,
I think you need to wait until he offers the
happy ending.
The happy ending. It's such a bad stereotype, but it feels too good to pass up at this moment. Is there anything else you want to try to get out of him?
Shut
Other
up.
than out of his pants?
Nothing in particular. I just wanted to see what kind of info I could get on the gang goings on.
What is Reginald doing during this time?
I think we probably finished our baths at the same time. And when Yachek went in to get his massage, I think I probably stepped out of the bathhouse. Do I know of any close by apothecary or light ingredient shop that I can sell the remainder of these ingredients at in the meantime?
Sure, yeah, we'll say things are generally closing up, but we'll say you have just enough time. There's definitely an herbalist nearby that would be interested in buying the rest of it. Okay. And I think you would have like a little over 200 left to sell, right?
Yeah, 232 is the total remaining that I couldn't sell before.
Cool. We'll say you have no issue selling it at base cost unless you're trying to like barter up.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Is that it for the bathhouse then? Cool. So you finish up. You get dressed. You feel great. You feel real great. And the party reconvenes.
I also dabbed myself with a bit of my cologne after the bath.
Ooh, you're smelling extra fancy.
Yeah, I have my cologne as well. When I run into these two, I'm gonna do a spray.
An extra spray across both of them.
Yeah.
So at this point,
that makes sense.
At this point, it's cleanly evening. You all meet outside of the bathhouse.
How was your bath?
It was
pleasant.
Heavenly. Highly recommend the massage.
The ocean was fine too.
Glad to hear it.
Can I tell they didn't use soap?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I spray.
Still like blood stains. Like they barely scrubbed. They just kind of hopped in and shook out.
Meanwhile, I'm
Hey man, I said I took off my armor and I scrubbed it. I didn't tell you soap, but I scrubbed it.
Your armor's clean, but you still got some smudges on your skin.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't say I scrubbed myself. That's very fair.
Before I forget, and I hand each of you 46 gold or 46 crowns.
Hey,
Oh.
nice.
And not obviously shops are closed for today, but I have gemstones that I'll need to sell at some point.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
The
For
remainder
future.
of the components split equally.
Did we say it's 40?
46.
Oh.
46 for the remainder.
Don't mind if I do. That covers the math house and my massage just now, so I'm back to even.
Beautiful.
Okay. I have 79 crowns. Yay.
Proud of you.
That's it.
Oh yeah, dude. I started this campaign off with like 60 crowns, 50 crowns. I had like no 12 maybe. I had like no crowns.
Oh,
I have good armor though. I have very good armor and very
You
good
have
weapons.
disgustingly good armor.
Disgustingly good armor. Yeah.
I went into debt for my crossbow.
Gord is the 1%, I guess.
Well, I'm with you. I have 158.
Oh, rude.
I just hit 805.
What?
Yeah.
And Gort's been
Yep.
so fickle with his money at the being like, all right, I'm still net positive.
In my
like a
defense,
true dwarf.
I took all my money and
Oh, that was
actually
good.
bought all the things I thought a doctor would have. So I've got like candles, ledgers, lanterns, notebooks, a hand mirror.
I mean, I
Like-
love how some of this is actually coming to play, though.
Yeah, I've got three pairs of basic clothing and one fashionable clothing. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely using it if I see an opportunity, like with the lantern, where it's like, yeah, no, I just have a straight up lantern on me.
Yeah. Cool. So what
Okay.
would the party like to do?
Well, I have one quick question. So I'm looking at these formulas. Now I'm starting to learn more about, hey, this game. The symbols, where is like the table for what each symbol means?
143 to 145 are the different.
I gotta jump
Yeah.
between those. Motherfuck.
I'm not surprised you have those on, like...
Oh yeah, no, I've got them on lock.
Okay,
That's my bread and butter right there.
Well, because I just need to. Oh my god.
That's what I was looking up, all the values of the components I sold.
Cool. No, just because. Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully put together some of this oil for future use for us. So cool, nice. All right, so you said page 143.
143 to 145. So 9 tables in total per substance type.
I'll have to take a look at that in a little bit, just because, hey, this doesn't let me look at multiple pages at once. I have to open up a whole separate file. So cool.
Aw.
Cool. Nice. All right, sounds good.
Keep in mind
so we're all
with-
back together. Huh?
Keep in mind with blade oils, you still need one like unit of dog tallow in addition to the components listed.
One.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotta kill
poor
some doggies. Actually, I
babies.
think you might have some because you did harvest those wolves.
I did. I just don't know what happened to a lot of that stuff. Like when I got captured.
You got
I
it
think
all
I
back.
saw. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Then I know some of that stuff went bad. I wasn't sure if the dog tallow also went bad.
No, it was only, I think, the monster meat you had on you.
Oh, nice. Well, then let me put my dog tallow back in because
The only components I have left are the wolfsbane I picked in the prologue, and then 6 chunks of mystery meat, which I guess is 5 chunks now because 2 of them fused.
No, true.
It's true.
Yeah, I've
Well,
got
less
some.
since you burned one. or
I got some
melted it.
brains.
So I had 7, it became 6, and then it became
I
5.
do have the venom extract as well.
Oh,
And
okay,
I have
cool.
I got 3 ghoul marrow, 2 ghoul claws, so I've got some other stuff, but
Talking about dog tallow, I had to rub Tenzin's belly.
Oh,
Only seemed fair.
Are you extracting some right now?
Through bellies.
Yeah.
Jen brings out a knife, like, yes, I am. Oh god!
It's like the Bioshock morality system is you can get extra dog tallow if you off the dog, but you can do the nice thing and get just a little bit from belly rubs.
That's
Belly rubs.
messed up and all the.
hey, we've been at this for almost 2.5 hours. Does anyone mind if we take a 5-minute break?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
bio break.
Sure.
We'll take a quick bio break.
I'll take the doggy out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, lucky he know.
Catch you lovely folks
Be
in
back.
5 minutes.
BRB.
Yep, be right back.
This might be now or never. Oh no! All on the path. Fantastic.
Oh my god, what did you do? What did you do?
I also fell. Oh, maybe not. Oh,
Chris, what
I
did
thought
you do?
I fell.
Chris, why would you do that?
Okie dokie. Can Semi-Lurking go play? Alright, let's see how this goes. Yeah, is that just how this is gonna go? Are we gonna do it? Alright, he's dead! We did it! So I'm saying something in a serious voice. Oh, here we go. I made myself a snowball, as perfect as could be. I thought I'd keep it as a pet, and let it sleep with me. I made it some pajamas and a pillow for its head. Then last night it ran away, but first it wet the bed.
Oh no.
That's really cute, actually. I like it.
But the snowball's dead.
It's not alive in the first place.
I'm
It's a
just saying,
snowball.
man, it's gone.
It wet the bed. It's
Heartless.
It's cute.
It's gone forever.
You
He
could go
thinks
out-
it ran away.
This is how Tony usurps the business.
Lord. No, this is how I go to jail.
He's trying to take over Affinity
This
Arcades.
is how
he
I
knows
go
we're gonna
to
become
jail.
billionaires someday.
Well, if you die, we're fucked.
Without me, the empire is his. Nathan can't do it. He's dumb.
Ah!
They killed me.
That fucking
Spazzing
game has
out.
no real music in it. It's got like background music, sure, but it doesn't have like actual.
Yo! Oh gosh, I didn't even hear the raid go off.
You stupid whore! Are you fucking kidding me? You stupid cunt! Right over.
Damn, all right. Good to see that Immortals Phoenix Rising is going well. What's up, Chaotic? Damn. Remind me never to piss off Chaotic. I don't want to be inflicted by that rage. That's genuine rage too. Who's that? Oh, that's straight up an assassin. Cool. And say, let's remove this problem. I hit the wrong button. I want to start by saying that I meant to choke him out. That's not who I was trying to give this to. Would the rest of you please get out of the way? You're ruining the moment. Here, I'll propose to you next to the person I killed for kicking my dog. Yeah, but you want some of these? You want some of these?
The things you do.
He's such a good boy. Hey, he loves it. Okay, Tenzin. We're gonna do some tricks now. Touch. 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 Come on. Touch. Touch. Yeah. Woo. Here you go. Tenzin, here. Okay, you can have this one. You want this one? You gotta get it. Come on. Get it. Yeah. This little wild boy. Yeah, are you so happy you're such a spoiled little boy? That's it, that's all I got. He's like, I'm gonna find more. It did not go as well as I hoped. Well, I've got plenty of blueberry muffins.
I see.
That's not a toilet, that's a rocking chair. Who put that in here? Please, please let me. No! Got my hopes up so hard there. I guess I'll prepare. Well, I guess I should investigate still. Even though bad stuff keeps happening. Terrible news! This raid was a lot of fun.
Did you spawn a liquor?
I did, Tom, and I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm not happy.
Squirrels!
To pay the bills.
Do they pay the bills though, Chris?
Probably.
Do they?
We don't have bills in this game because we're a child. All right, all right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, okay. Right. Yep. Bah! Wouldn't move after I jumped. It's not worth it. Oh. How do I aim? That was not a throw. Hey, Neville. Is this right? Is this right?
Look at that face.
Is this right?
Oh man, it's
Is this?
so awkward.
Are you ready for my spin attack? Are you ready for
What
my
are you
spin
doing?
attack?
Hurry
Are
up.
you ready
Wait
for
up.
my
Keep
spin
thrusting.
attack?
Very good. More. Keep it up.
I need an adult. Blueberry pie, yeah, baby. Okay, I don't think I got good guy points for that. I got an apple pie. No! My guns! What up? I can fly too, fool! I ain't afraid no ghosts. Also, I don't got ice blade anymore. So what up, fool? Gonna boop that snoot!
Sarah's intense at Tony and Chris. I'm sorry. Are they in the same room? Oh, we are in the same room. Has it been a hot second? Maybe. Oh, fuck.
What did I say? What did I say? I called it! I am the whisperer of the dice! Tom makes people who don't love board games, and he's also a handsome lad. No notes?
People in the world.
I'm very practiced in swallowing.
much
with Gundahar, and I tell you,
Shameful!
Shameful.
Don't be judgy.
It was, I mean, it was fine. A little bit shameful.
Why was it shameful? What did I do? I bet I got a 4-star rating. Check this out. I got 1 star. It'll be fantastic for Halloween. I'm here for that. And I've never... come on! I feel like they're really not doing that much damage against him. What the hell? It was fine. Everything was fine. And then they... How did he reach me? Okay, we're just gonna climb up here real quick. I could also just knock him out right here. Eh? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Just gonna leave. And come back. And keep my laser sword. Ha! How do you like that? Yeah, I can cheese the system too. You may be able to respawn in... Is there anything here?
I
This is
really
just
hope
sorrow.
the last one's the potion. That'd be really funny if the last one was a potion.
It would not be funny. It would in fact be terrible.
I think one of these has a potion though.
Was it?
Maybe not. No, I guess I'm crazy.
Oh, did I despawn the star? Oh my god.
Hey, wait, a potion.
Poo poo. Pee pee poo poo. Pee pee. Poo poo pee pee. Poo poo. Poo pee pee. Oh, I can absolutely still make that piece of cake. Ah, no! But we were at the door. Come on, man. Oh, boy.
I just want some asparagus. Give me that asparagus.
Oh, I didn't move in time. Whoa, what? I didn't know I could do that. Yes, that was awesome. Oh, yes. Now's my time to shine. Yes. Two chickens chicked, or chickens wow, chickens kicked. Well, apparently I can fling that a lot higher than I thought. All right, we back.
Hello!
So we are outside the bathhouse. What would the party like to do?
I think we go to visit Chappelle at this point.
Okay.
And Chappelle is like, about time.
I mean, I'm not saying you're right, but you're definitely right. Cool. So we'll say to get to Chappelle, we'll say you actually. How do you want to go about it?
Did
Where's
he
he
give
at?
us like a location? Yeah, to meet him when all was said and done.
I actually don't remember if I actually did say anything or not, or if he said he'd find you, but I feel like that'd be weird. I mean, I guess he still knows exactly where you are because he's Chappelle, but we'll say he probably told you to go near the entrance to the Church of the Eternal Fire, but not like necessarily all the way in. So basically meet you by the bridge.
Sure.
So-
let's do it.
I'll let the group know. Well, Gort and I ran into a few mercenaries folk, and I kind of explained the armor, the red gear with some black, the strap that went around, all that. We followed them, and they kind of went towards that church area.
Can I do an education roll based
Yes.
on his description?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So could you
20.
check if you'd like.
That's okay.
Cool. So with 20, you would probably know who these folk are, with reasonable context. So they're reminiscent of the Order of the Flaming Rose, but you would know at 20 that that group no longer truly it exists, but it's actually been disbanded. It has continued to exist under new leadership, but the King of Redania did disband the order. So right now it's being led by someone completely different, and it's totally getting rebuilt. So what you're looking at is, or what it sounds like, is a faction called Witch Hunters, which have been around for a decent chunk of time, but they're generally small, and they haven't been as present with the dismantling of the dissolvement of the Order of the Flaming Rose. However, they've recently gotten a surge of new recruits that they were basically fanatical troops that had nowhere else to go, so they joined the Witch Hunters. So now they
Are
are
they dangerous for Edelmar?
potentially. They tend to spout a lot of rhetoric that is anti non-human.
Kind of the thing is, it's like it's mage and sorcerers focus first, and then non-humans in general, and then
So also dangerous for Gort.
Yeah, they're generally
Potentially.
bad news unless you're a fanatic. There is no direct connection officially between the Church of the Eternal Fire and the Witch Hunters.
Right.
But there are rumors that the church has encouraged them in the past.
Wonderful. So glad we're going to go near these.
Yes, but we should get this wrapped up because, well,
yeah,
wanna
I would
get
explain
paid.
all this to the group, so I would probably say, "Oh, sounds like the witch hunters type thing." And I'm
Whoa.
probably
Lovely.
fairly familiar with the witch hunters, considering my lover is Alvira, a sorceress.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You have a reason to care.
Yeah, it's like probably one of my big concerns with not hearing from Elvira for these past couple years is I've heard the witch hunters are getting more active and more numerous type thing.
Yeah, and truthfully too, in your time that you've been spending with Elvira, she probably even admitted that that's one of the reasons why she wanted to keep things low key, because she heard about them moving.
Right.
But viewed Novigrad as a reasonable place for sanctuary, but still wanted to keep things on the DL.
Yeah.
If you all want, I can write songs about how terrible they are.
What do
No,
they
just-
got against dwarves?
I mean,
They're
in your
horrible.
experience, Gort, humans generally are pieces of shit to the elder races,
Yeah,
especially in the
it's-
north.
It's not unique to the witch hunters.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it doesn't take a huge stretch to understand how some humans can get fanatical about it.
I'm probably more unique in that I don't care rather than the witch hunters.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess I read tolerated as in like, hey, you're alright. Not, ugh.
No,
Yeah,
tolerated.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
of
that
the
means that
They don't want you there, but they're
yeah,
killing.
most of the northern kingdoms, they'll tolerate dwarves because dwarves produce things that humans see value in. Elves, on the other hand, humans basically just fucking hate across the board. It's very rare to find humans that sympathize with elves.
I do kind of remember that from the show, so.
Yeah.
Well, people are never like me anyway, so let's get going.
Cool. So you make your way to the bridge near the church, and we'll say that you kind of get like a whistled at, and someone kind of waves you over, and they lead you inside a similar like kind of barracks that you were in before when you first talked to Chappelle, and they take you in and seat you at a table where Chappelle is sitting and welcomes you with open arms. It's great to see everyone return safely. Please,
Safe enough,
have a seat.
anyway.
Would you like an ale?
I won't
Water.
say
Yes,
no.
please.
Yes, I would accept.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. He kind of goes over to like a cabinet on the side, grabs a pitcher of ale and a pitcher of water, and gets everyone glasses, and sits down at the table with you and says, "Please, tell me how did it go? What discoveries were made down there?"
So a number, I suppose I can start for the group. We started with the investigation, of course, before going out into the sewers. We went to the morgue in order to inspect the bodies that were there. We did not find anything unusual at first. However, upon my arrival, the individual I had met, who I believed at the time to be, what was her name?
Oh my gosh, that's from a couple sessions ago. Yeah,
I wrote it down somewhere.
Anna Marie?
Anna
Yes.
Marie.
Yes, Anna Marie. The individual I thought to be Dr. Anna Marie, who runs the morgue, was in fact some sort of imposter, which we discovered upon finding the body of Anna Marie in one of the back rooms. Unfortunately, she left before we made this discovery, and we did not realize she was leaving. The corpses in the morgue all were missing stomachs, which we took to be a clue that someone was indeed attempting to hide something with these drowners. In particularly, we thought it might be a matter of the diet or something of that effect. So naturally, we went down into the sewers with this in mind. We ran into a number of monsters in the sewers, some of which were drowners, but also a few ghouls and a rot fiend as well. When we made it down to a particularly deep point in the sewers, we did actually find a number of drowners that had strange growths growing inside them from their stomachs. And at this point, I would pull out like the chunks of meat
And then he kind of like is taken aback of like, oh, you brought it in here, you crazy person.
Yeah.
He's like, my goodness, that are you sure this is safe?
No.
To some degree, it seems to be not particular. It obviously, to some degree, it is still alive in some aspect that I don't quite understand. It seems to be alchemical in nature, but the exact nature of the alchemy essence seems to change over time, which obviously is strange and unusual. It exhibits behaviors similar to what a high-class vampire might exhibit in terms of regenerative properties, or at least activeness post-death. But obviously, obviously, these aren't vampires, or at least are not vampires that we are aware of, as those typically revolve around a singular core that continues to grow, while these individual pieces, these growths in particular, are ones I cut off as samples, and in fact, there still was remainder on the bodies that also still behaved in this manner.
Have you ever seen anything like this, Chappelle?
I can, without a doubt, say I have never seen anything like this.
Neither have I, which is bad.
Yes. As far as discoveries, we aren't quite sure to what purpose these drowners had these growths implanted, infected. It's hard to say what the cause was, but we do know that they do seem to have been done intentionally, as the location then which we found them included an illusionary wall that led to, at the time, disactivated portal.
So there is definitely magic involved.
You could say that again.
But it's
that
hard
complicates
to know.
Things.
It's hard to know exactly what purpose and why. Especially so that the attack on Hierarch Square does not seem to have been due to coordinated efforts. The drowners closer to the surface did not exhibit these growths on them. It was only those closer to the portal, and the room in which Hierarch Square collapsed seemed more be due to damage caused by the drowners attacking it due to the smell of human presence beyond it. So while the drowner presence might have been increased, it doesn't seem to have been a coordinated attack.
Suppose that's good. Am I to believe then that the drowners as a whole have been dealt with, at least within the confines of the sewers?
Everyone we came across.
Yes, we've killed them all. And right now the portal is not operable.
What about that horrible thing that stabbed me? You should be aware of that still down there.
Yes. It's gone. It's looking for me.
Horrible thing that is looking for you.
There's a catachan. Nothing more needs to be said. It's just after me. I doubt it has anything to do with the sewers.
It
I
did
just
seem
don't want you to
unrelated.
go down there and get hurt.
Pardon my straightforwardness, but should you be allowed in the city if you have a monster chasing you, Witcher?
It's been chasing me on and off for a year or so.
Oh, you know it? You know this thing? I didn't know that.
If you are a danger to the city, you should not be in here.
I just dispatched with my colleagues here your whole drowner situation. I think I've bought myself some time.
Yeah, he's really good.
Worth.
Like, really good. Like, really, really, really good.
If you don't want my help, though, I can leave.
I want his help.
That's fine.
In addition, the catacons seem to have been able to be driven off, at least by the Witcher's attacks. So it seemed pretty focused on the Witcher for most of the fight. It did bite me, but it was only in passing. I don't know how much danger it would constitute to the city as a whole, especially if its focus is on an individual.
It wants to corner me in hidden places. I don't think the city's in danger.
Take your word on that for now, but I will continue to hold my concerns for the time being. Did I hear something about a portal?
Yes. behind the illusionary wall.
Is it operable? Did you go through it?
No, it's inoperable. I don't know who had the sphere on them. I don't know if that was Izoldi or one of us, because I don't have it in. It's not on. Like it wasn't
not
on
in my inventory.
Sheet. So
I mean, we could say for sake of ease that one of you has it.
Yeah, so I'll pull it out. This was what was sitting there.
That's interesting. Certainly looks old. Picks it up and starts giving it a once over. We'll do. I certainly can't say I know for certain what this is. And he sets it back down on the table. But I recommend, especially considering this was part of a portal, a physical portal, like elven portal.
Yeah, I guess it had runes. I don't know if we determined they were elven though.
I
Wait, I can speak some Elvish. Can I read it? I know I wasn't conscious for that part, but if you remember the ruins, I could
Go ahead
read
and
it.
roll Elder Speech.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it could get you some clues.
Yeah, I didn't do very well. 14.
It's Elder
14?
Speech and Arcane.
So you don't really know what any of it means. In fact, it kind of looks like gibberish. Like, you recognize some of the symbols, but definitely not all of them.
Sure.
So much so that it's either, like, ancient Elder Speech, or it's some Elder Speech mixed with symbols that aren't Elder Speech.
So I share that.
But it definitely seems like in the right hands, it could be deciphered.
Mm-hmm.
We can find more on this, Chappelle, unless you need this for any reason. We can hold on to this.
No, please hold on to it. I recommend talking at least to the mages here in Novigrad, or if not them, then I do believe if this is elvish in nature, there is an expert in Oxenfurt. So I think that would
Ready
be...
to go back, Doc.
I think that would be a good
You
lead.
definitely see a look pass over
Who's
my
that?
friend when he mentions going to Oxenfurt.
Who's that person?
Shit, did I write down their name?
Can see all your egotistical friends.
Hopefully not.
I didn't give them a name, so you know what, Tony? Name them for me.
Great. We will call him. We'll call him.
Highborn or lowborn?
Highborn, definitely.
So 3 names.
Oh,
You
good.
can give me the first name and I can figure out the rest.
So his name will be
Christopher.
It'll be Record, like Reckert. Record.
R-E-C-A, did you say?
No, R-E-C-K, like R-E-C-K-E-R-T. Record.
E-R-T. Record. All right. You know what? I like it. That's pretty good.
It could be a first to last, up to you. That's what came to my brain. That's all I have.
Cool. I like it. Yeah, he tells you the man's name is Record. You would certainly find him within the confines of the academy over there. He is a historian and an archaeologist.
I'll bring up some of the other kind of odds and ends we've heard then as well. We saw some men, and I explained their garb, who have been popping in. They were while we were washing up, way off to the side, suspicious. It was odd.
I mean, at this point, based on what Reginald says, who they
so I guess we would need to bring it up. So never mind. I won't bring that up then. But I will say, the town is very fidgety about all the gates being closed. Very, very fidgety. I
mean, with the drowners being cleared and this portal being broken, it seems reasonable to open up the gates at this point.
I say the sooner you do that, the better I think your people will feel. I guess it's a good way of putting it.
I also have no concerns with regards to opening up the city gates.
Great. Then it will be done. I appreciate your service.
Chappelle, before we leave,
sure.
This amoeba, this blob, this mass.
I would like to request that you burn it and get rid of it. I don't think it's safe to keep around. That is my feeling on this matter.
Well, we've already discovered if fire won't do it, acid will. So
that's great.
There's no one else we should be showing this to get any kind of confirmation. Like this has never been seen before. And yes, the emerald-eyed mage that may or may not be involved with this.
The what?
The emerald-eyed woman who was impersonating the doctor at the morgue.
Oh, yes, that's interesting. That's the first I've heard of this person. I think it sounds like you have multiple leads. So I would say phase 2 of this is figuring out, well, really, which one of those leads is the right one, if not all of them. I think figuring out how to decipher this portal stone, whatever it is, and going to Oxenfurt is a good option. Trailing this emerald-eyed character is a good one. I suppose you could take the meat to the mages, but I still caution holding on to it for any longer than you need it. If it continues to grow, it could bring more.
We those pieces together as a test. We don't think it'll grow on its own.
No, you know it will.
Yeah,
it's constantly growing.
Yeah.
That's why it was messing up those drowners that
so I would probably then mention to him, like, these are only pieces we took from some drowners. If
so where's
you
the
would
mother mass?
You would most likely want to send a team down into the sewers to burn the remains down there.
Oh, that's a good suggestion. Yes, we will do that. I do like what you said, Yachek, though. I think if there is a source to this, that needs to be eradicated.
Right, if these little pieces are this big, can you imagine the origin?
I think that portal will be our answer, because we did see markings coming through as if something was either being dragged in or dragged out, or both.
I agree. That sounds like a reasonable deduction.
So we should prepare for whatever's on the other side of that, because that will probably be the true answer to our drowner friends.
Yes. A small matter, Chappelle, unrelated to this investigation. Obviously, while we were in the sewers, we also ran across a pair of smugglers.
Yes, they've been nothing short of a blight on this city.
Yes. The information we got to them, obviously they were moving Fistech, which is, I know, a controlled substance in the city of Novigrad. As far as their source, they did mention they were working for one Siggy Reuven, and we also found a back hatch
in the sewers.
We believe it may lead to the bathhouse, but we were not able to open it from that end, nor find it, obviously, once we return to the city.
That's a very good tip. We may action on this, especially since we'll be in the sewers cleaning up anyway.
Yeah,
well,
so
if you
we have
happen
a
to
copy
go to
of
the bathhouse, I have a recommendation for a masseuse there.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
You're welcome.
The ocean is cheaper.
So I think we give him a copy of the map with, like, notations written on it about, like, the locations of the 4 drowner bodies with the growths.
Do we give him that map? Because that's what we stole, isn't it?
I think we probably do. I mean, do we keep it?
No, I guess we don't need to keep it.
I mean,
I don't think we'll get in trouble.
I don't think he's going to be like, oh, where did you get this map of the sewer that you totally needed to finish the job I told you?
Right.
It's like, yeah, we could even mention like, hey, maybe step up a little bit of your security at town hall.
So do you actually hand him the map then?
I'd say yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah. So after you hand him the map, he
pointing out where we found the hatch, where we saw the smugglers, and where the drowners' bodies are.
He takes it and nods his head, and he says, "You didn't tell anyone in the city hall what you were doing, correct?"
Correct. The map was gained in clandestine means, so...
All they know is that there was one dwarf who absolutely needed to use the restroom.
That's true.
You know what? That's good enough for me. I appreciate your discretion.
Yes. Obviously...
I still have the keys.
I will make sure it gets returned properly, but we will use your notations as well.
Can you,
yes.
When you give that back, how about you return these as well?
He
Hand
laughs.
them the keys.
Of course. Good to know that you're all good at your work.
I probably also mentioned, also this probably gives you a little more context to reports you may have gotten about an incident at the morgue.
Hopefully you got reports on that.
Hopefully.
Yes.
We did tell the receptionist to contact the guards, but not speak of us.
Threatened.
Yes, that does make a lot more sense. Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your hard work.
Payment, though, Chappelle. This is a two-way street.
Well, as we discussed, payment wouldn't happen until the total job was complete. Is there necessary reasons to get paid up sooner?
Well, we did have to burn funds in order to go down to the sewer, so costs for poisons and things like that. I think it would be fair to pay out a portion given the amount of work we've shown we're capable of, with the understanding that the whole sum might wait until after the completion.
I would like a persuasion roll from someone.
Can I do... I can do either... I got a persuasion or business.
You know what? All right, I'll take business.
Okay.
I give you a +2 for that too.
Cool. That'll be a 17.
Wow. With the +2 already?
Yeah.
He looks at you and says, "Tell you what, I will pay you a portion, but it will be a small portion."
Of course.
Let's see, how much did he offer you? Was it
3 grand?
3,000, yeah, 3,000 apiece.
Cool. So he will pay you each 300 upfront.
Okay.
Cha-ching.
First payment.
And I'll let you know that that's because he actually beat you in the roll, but you still made a good argument.
Yep, sounds good. Hey, it's 300 crowns I didn't have earlier in the day, so...
And you do have Izoldi's share, and he expects you to give it to Izoldi.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, Izoldi already got paid, what, like half of their total?
I'm already holding on to money for Izoldi as well for...
Yeah, just player thought, because wasn't one of Izoldi's goals to keep the gates closed?
Mm-hmm.
And so she's failing that because she's not here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about a creative... Well, it's technically not an option still, but we'll have to figure that out.
It's not like it's opening right this second, so there could be methods to which...
Open the gates!
Yes.
Yeah, because all we've said is that it's we don't see any reason to keep them closed.
Okay.
And that the people of the city would feel better if these were open for traders to get through.
Yeah.
Because people gotta eat.
Yep.
True that.
Well then, is there anything else you need from me?
No, I believe for now we can go on our next leads.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for your hard work. I appreciate you communicating your results to me. And, of course, if you need support or anything else in the meantime, you know how to find me.
Of course.
And he lets you finish your ale. before you boogie.
Thank you for the drink and the down payment. Or first installment, perhaps?
First installment, yeah.
First installment.
So
I still have that fish tech.
So why does this?
I never handed it over. I just mentioned that it was.
So
being-
Zoldy-
Yeah, let's do drugs.
Azoldi didn't tell you.
Okay, cool. So we don't know. I just didn't.
Yeah, I don't think Azoldi. Obviously, Azoldi came when we were in battle, so we never really heard anything about her interactions with the green-eyed woman.
Yeah, and she split off. The gate open again, right? She split off pretty quickly once she was patched up, so it seemed like she had something to take care of. And then she just never really reconvened with you during this time. So you don't even know where she went.
Yeah.
Awfully sneaky.
Well. Yeah. So do y'all leave? So now it's pretty late. So do your characters call it a night?
Lodging. Yeah.
Probably back to our lodging.
Okay.
And pass the fuck out.
Cool. So we'll say that the day passes. This is a good point to ask if we would like to jump forward in time so that people are fully healed, or are there critical things we want to do before we jump forward a week?
Well, is there anything that we'll like major lose out on if we jump forward a week?
Because we have to go to Oxen first.
The only thing you would need that you would miss if you jump forward would be determining. It would be trying to keep the gates closed, for example. But since you are not trying to keep the gates closed, then you as a party you won't miss out on anything else.
And our characters are not privy to that.
Can we retroactively ask for a pass to leave the city to go to Oxenfurt from Chappelle?
Well, you
I
can.
almost want to wait until next time when we have Azoldi before we make that choice. I mean, I just want to give
So
an opportunity.
she'll have the option to try to delay it.
Okay.
But in a week's passing, it's going to open within a week no matter what. So it's really a matter of if Azoldi does try to delay it, how long does she?
Okay.
So if we jump forward a week, the end result is still mostly the same.
I mean, I want to try to sell my gemstones.
Yeah, and for what it's worth too, there are other things you could do within the confines of the city before the gates open, right? So if there are things that you want to continue to investigate, we don't have to jump forward a week yet. We could resolve all that stuff and just say we jump forward by next session. Or at least some point next session.
Yeah, I think jump forward by next session, and then we can just do some finishing up stuff today.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
That sounds good.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
So we'll say then you wake up the next day, not a week later, and the party reconvenes unless someone doesn't want to.
I want to make a quick stop before I reconvene with everyone.
All right, let's start with you, Gord.
All right, I'm gonna, mosey on to the destitute part of town, find someone, down on their luck, put a coin in his hand and go, I want to speak to the king.
He nods and takes you along the way. Before long, you are presented to the King of Beggars. Greetings. It's pleasant to see you this early morning. May I offer you some bread for breakfast?
Yeah, I'll take a hunk. Why not?
Hands you a little hunk. It's a pretty hearty bread, but it's packed with seeds and is actually quite delicious.
Haven't had anything this good in a while. Anyways, I came down to talk to you about more information.
Oh, lovely.
Now that my work assignment is done, I'm gonna give you some of the finer details then.
Of course.
And then I kind of tell them that it was Chappelle that hired us, and kind of what was going down in the sewers, and the debate of opening the gate or not.
How much do you tell him about what went on in the sewers?
I think I would reveal to him that the Catacan attacked, but also be like, I think it's really after this Witcher dude.
Do you tell him about, like, the mystery meat or the portal?
Probably the portal, but not the mystery meat.
Okay, interesting. He, there's a couple of moments that he kind of reacts to. One is talking about opening the gates. The portal definitely pings his interest. The Catacan weirdly doesn't seem to faze him at all. He expected monsters to be in the sewers. There's all sorts. He's not afraid to admit it, unlike Novigrad. He seems to have already known that you were working for Chappelle. I am disappointed that you didn't tell me some of this before you talked to Chappelle, however. That was part of the request I made of you. I'll be honest, I don't think that some of this information is well suited to be in the hands of the city of Novigrad. I don't trust that they will use this to the betterment of the lives of its denizens.
I gave him the same information I gave you, so...
Well, that's some of the problem. I think it would have been best to withhold some of this information from Chappelle. Don't know if you know much about the city of Novigrad, but Chappelle, as the leader of the secret police, is not known for his kindness, but more of his cruelty. Of course, he's changed in recent years, but the facts are still the facts. The city is hostile to many, and I don't want him to get bad ideas.
Gort kind of mulls everything over for a bit. I think he would keep the information that he wasn't the one that told Chappelle all of this to himself, so...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, and he would just kind of... I'll keep you informed while I'm hunting down another lead. That's all I can do.
Of course. Well, while you are doing that, do feel free to use me as a resource as well. I'm very curious about this portal, though. Do we have any idea what exactly its purpose is?
I don't believe so. I think someone mentioned that it was probably elderfolk relic from long since past, so...
The thing is, elves shouldn't be using it. It'd be strange if there were elves. I suppose a mage could be using it. Listen, I'll be honest with you. If there are elves using those portals, that's less of a concern because there's already just... The humans won't let the elves in the city anyway, so that's none of my concern. If it's a mage, though, or I suppose monsters, but even that's not that big of a concern. If it's a mage, I highly encourage you to snuff that out immediately. Do not let the city know if it's a mage behind it, because it will not reflect well on the mages that live here.
So, are you for the mages or against the mages?
I've helped keep the mages in this city safe, as there are growing hostilities against them.
Can I do like an insight check or the equivalent of that?
Yeah, go ahead and roll human perception.
Oh, darn. Okay. 5. You know what? Seeing how I gained a luck point back, I am going to drop 4 luck points into this.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
But didn't you already roll?
I did not. I just kind of shook the dice.
No, he has a base 5.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, that's no problem. Okay, so I said I'm dropping 4 into it. Got it. I have 3 left, so that would be 9 plus. Crit exploded.
Ooh.
Nice.
So that's 19 plus 7.
26.
26. Thank you, Chad.
Very good. He seems to be genuine. He seems to care deeply about the people who are... So when he said that he cares about maintaining the status quo in your last conversation with him, that seems to be something that he genuinely means, and that includes the people that are potentially in danger. So, as the king of the beggars, he keeps the people, the downtrodden, safe. And when he's talking about the mages, he seems to be concerned that they may be in danger soon, and he's trying to mitigate.
I think we're in agreement of this. I haven't met many mages in my time, and the one I've met seems like an okay sort.
Mages are good. They're people just like the rest of us. It's... You tend to see mages living high-class lifestyles, but that's not the whole truth. And I think with the groups that are organizing outside of the city confines, I think I have concerns about what might be going on. And thus, I think it's best for the city to not have any ammunition to target any particular group of people. That's why if it's a monster and that's all it is, then that's great. But that's why I'm asking for information first.
I see now. I gotta be honest with you. I had a hard time getting a read off of you, King, but I think now I kind of see what sort of fellow you are, and I'm a bit more applicable to this now.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. Don't be misled, though. I'm still part of the syndicate here, but I'm trying my best.
A real piece of shit.
Yeah, just in many different ways.
And then I think Gort would nod his head as a farewell and start to be on his merry way.
Nice. Okay, so the group convenes.
I mean, people can go with me to sell gems, but they don't have to.
I mean, we could say, unless you want it to be a scene, we could say you just sell it.
We'll just sell it. I'll
Cool.
go to a jeweler and sell it.
Cool. Do you know what their value is?
Nope. And we didn't say what kind of gemstones they were either. I just have gemstones in my notes.
I think
And I have 3.
3 gemstones.
I will share the
I believe
proceeds.
Suddenly a wash in crowns.
It's magic. These aren't magic. These are just basic boy gems.
Just, basic boy ruby or sapphire, nothing big.
Part of Yachek is tempted to keep one and have the jeweler make him some new jewelry. But he won't.
I have these. I know I pulled these out of the book somewhere, and they're literally just called gemstones, which is why I didn't get specific. Well, that's an amulet, which is a focus, so that's a magic item. Clothing. Could it be under...
Could you use a glossary?
No, because this glossary is fucking useless.
Ooh.
I don't think it's
You heard it here, folks. Fucking useless.
It is. I've tried using the glossary so many times, and it has never helped me.
Do that.
I know, seriously. I don't think they were worth like a ton, but they were still like, a nice little bump in money. Alright, I'll look at the glossary.
Heckin' yes.
It's like, now that I've talked bad about it, I guess I'll check.
G is for gemstones.
General gear.
Yeah. It's useless.
Thank you. I called it gemstones, right?
Yep.
Suppose I could always pull up the PDF and just control
Precious
F it.
stones.
No. Trinkets. Transportation. Nope. Well, I might just have to make a snap judgment just to get shit moving.
page 129, I'm gonna guess.
129.
Because I controlled F the PDF file that I have open.
Ingots and minerals. Gemstone, 100 each.
There you go. 100 each. Thank you. Yep, there it is.
Team
Of
effort.
course. Oh, the category was ingots and minerals. Ah, you're smart, Chad.
Yeah.
And there are 5 of us?
And also Kevin's smart for control effing it for me.
Yeah,
100
there
each, and
you
you
go.
got what, 5?
Yeah.
So y'all,
300
everyone
divided by
gets.
5.
100
I see.
each.
60 each.
Oh, so there are 3 gemstones.
Oh, there's 3 each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody gets 60.
Boys.
Nice.
Yay.
Suddenly up in the 400 crown range.
You mean Azoli is up in the 400 crown range?
Azoldi's definitely way past that at this point.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm holding on to 386 for Azoldi just straight up, and that's not including my debt to Azoldi.
Cool beans. That's all I wanted to do.
So Chris, for these formulas and stuff, right?
Formula.
Whatever it shows in the on the table, that's how many components it takes to make one, right? How to make one formula or one potion or whatever oil. So I want to make multiplied.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and then one dog tallow is always needed for each oil or
Yes.
each formula, whatever.
It's the base. It's basically what allows it to cling to the blade.
And that's not listed on the components. That's just, hey, you need that.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I
Now
mean,
I'm trying to-
technically, you could probably use something like bear tallow too, but
Sure.
you just need
so,
something viscous.
So essentially, that potion, right? Does it say how long they last? Because all I see is craft time.
Blade oils, I believe, are number of strikes.
Okay, let me see.
We could double check, but
Yeah. Well, 'cause I'm just curious because I have some things, but I'm missing others, and I just need to know how difficult it's going to be to find them. Especially after the fights we've had, it just kind of feels like fiends are these necrophages are going to keep being in our lives, and so I want to make sure I can, get the material for potions. I have a decent bit of it. I don't know if I want to do that just yet because I want to look in to make sure I can find all the right numbers and everything, and that might take a little while.
Sure.
But for that, I don't think I'm gonna sell anything because it looks like everything I have is some of the components needed for a lot of this shit. So, yeah.
I mean, I'll at least say you could probably get just about everything in the span of a week, whether you take the time to harvest it and literally go outside the city and hunt for it or gather. You can also buy a lot of it from herbalists. But in the span of a week, if you want to buy stuff, we'll just say you can buy everything at cost. If you want to reduce the cost by spending time gathering, then I'll just have you roll a couple of skill checks.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me put together the list of what I want to do and how many I want. And yeah, we can just do that then.
Okay, that sounds good.
That's my big issue with this book is that there's stuff everywhere and
oh yeah,
I'm God, I need to find how much of each thing I need to make sure I have. So I want to sit there and be able to math it out a little easier. So
I would probably go to wherever I would have gotten my surgeon kit from just to get a replacement scalpel.
So I already did the math on it, and then it'll just cost you 10 crowns.
Great, thank you.
Chris, I would like to see if I can get information on where this catachan could be. I want to I'm sure there's got to be a bar or a something, because I know that I'd rather go in prepared instead of it popping up and being a surprise later.
Sure. Ooh, okay. So you want to hear chatter about it?
Yeah, I want to specific, or I don't know if there's any kind of Hunter's Hall, anything where people are talking about this kind of stuff.
I mean, you could definitely talk to the city's Hunters Guild, You could talk to the guardsmen. You could.
I'll start with the Hunters Guild. Because I feel like if anyone's gonna know the most, my opinion is gonna be these guys. I don't know what the Witcher's opinion are on hunters, but yeah, I feel like that's at least at this point it's the person I need.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess let's just jump right into that. So we'll say you find them. They're probably just holed up in kind of a small like barracks because they are employed by the city.
Yeah.
You go inside. Someone greets you. Witcher.
Hello.
It's not often we see one of you walk in here. What can we do for you?
Well, I need information that I hope you can get. It's uncommon, so I'm hoping that it's in your brain. I'm looking for Catacan, sightings of Catacan.
Let's see if he knows what the heck a Catacan is.
Yeah, if he looks confused, I'll break it down easier.
You're talking about one of them vampire types?
Yes, one of them vampire types.
You telling me that there was a Catacan inside the city?
No, I am just curious about sightings outside of the city. Anything you may have heard, I think there may be some close by, or one at least.
Well, I could talk to some of the other guys here, but haven't seen much. Did have a couple of dead livestock that looked kind of like it could have been vampire related southeast of here.
Where was that?
It was, I mean, in the fields, but so you'd find it near some of the small settlements, but it's kind of en route to
Oxenford.
No, actually, Oxenford's more straight east.
Is it? Okay.
This is closer to. This is toward. I wrote this down. Where'd it go? Wanbarrow. This name though sticks out to you. So this is actually in Temerian territory, because Novigrad's kind of like right on the border. So if you go much south at all, you kind of enter Temeria. This is this is a city or a small town that has been completely abandoned and was attacked by monsters that you, during your hermit years, were asked to help kill monsters.
Yeah, the second you started talking about this, I put down my phone. Yeah, is this what it is? Great, good.
It's in that direction. Obviously, no one goes there these days. They say it's cursed, but between here and that settlement, it's kind of en route. So who knows?
Okay. Well, believing curses, they bring no good fortune, but lots of truth. Okay. Thank you. I'll be on my way. If you hear of anything else, though, I think I may be the only Witcher in town. You just let me know.
Well, I hear the trouble follows you, Witchers, so you do your best to not stir up anything.
Any other problems you have been having here that maybe my blade or blades can help you with?
Well, I don't know if you heard about the drowners, but that was a problem.
Taken care of.
Great. Love to hear it. I guess thank you. No, nothing else that I know of, but
Was that thank you a real thank you?
Yes and no.
Just because I feel like rolling it. Can I roll human perception?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I don't get anything for this roll. I have 0 in it, but I got like it's an int skill, right?
No, it's an empathy skill.
Oh, it's empathy. Oh, good. I got 4, so great.
Sure.
Enough, I guess.
You know what? He kinda means it.
I say great, and I walk out the door.
Cool. What else would folks like to do?
I just want to say that Yachek's working on a few songs, working on an album.
Nice. Now, is he doing it in private or is he doing it in public? Like, is he?
He's working on it in private.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would probably go ahead.
And being careful about the information included in the songs, but yeah.
Nice. Would you like to roll to see how well it's going so far?
Oh, sure. Would I just roll my bard skill?
Probably,
my busking
yeah.
skill?
Yeah. Obviously, you're not doing it out in public,
Right,
but
right.
it could give you a bonus to your first performance.
And would that be busking plus just my roll?
Busking plus the stat plus
What's
the
the
roll.
stat?
It should say in the book. Let's check.
I'm gonna guess it's probably empathy, but I'll pull it up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. Empathy.
Yeah. Okay. 26.
Oh yeah, that's pretty darn good.
Wait, no. I'm sorry, that's a total lie. 17. It's because I'm rolling these dice.
Oh.
Percent die. Sorry, 17.
All right, 17. Not nearly as good, but we'll say you're at least making good enough progress with it. Not miraculous enough to give you a bonus, but certainly you'll be ready to rock by the time you're recovered.
It's not good enough yet. That's it.
So, I was probably Reginald was probably staying with Elvira last night.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably, upon waking up in the morning, ask her if she knows of any mages in the city that might know anything about the mystery meat. Or at least
the ruins. The ruins.
I mean, you could definitely talk to the folks who kind of spend their time in the high mage society areas of the city. Felicia is definitely one person that would... Honestly, she's the most reasonable one to talk to, so
Felicia.
I'd start with her before anyone else. But honestly, I'm not sure. I think that this is... Yeah, okay, my hunch is that this is something that most of the mages here would not like. In terms of...
Oh, I would certainly hope so.
Yeah, I don't think this is magic that they would themselves perform.
Mm-hmm.
So...
well, I figured I could get whatever knowledge I could before I destroy the rest of it, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
So I think I would dress in my fashionable clothing and go to see Felicia, assuming Elvira told me where I could try and contact her.
Sure. Is anyone else welcome to come with you, or are you just kind of going solo on it?
They're welcome to come with me. I don't know, did you guys stay like on the cots that Elvira provided?
Sure.
I figure if that was the free lodging, 100%.
Yeah, I know, Chris, you mentioned Elvira put out some cots when we first kind of stumbled back in, but...
Yep. Yeah, that's okay. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hitting the wall, by the way.
Okay. I mean,
I don't think there's much left here.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So, whoever wants to go with can be there. So there's at least Reginald. Does anyone else join?
I'll go. I'm curious about the mystery meat.
I'm working on my album.
Cool. Gort, are you just chilling back?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So Edelmar and Reginald go to the like high mage lounge. It's basically an extravagant place full of illusory delights, people drinking and eating wine and eating things and treats and hors d'oeuvres that don't really exist. It's all made of magic, and they're all just being hoity-toity about it. But it doesn't take too long to
very
find...
Hook.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't take long to find Felicia because she realizes, while all the other mages are kind of like looking at you, like giving you a sour look, like, the hell are you doing in our lounge? She sees you and approaches you and says, "Hi, welcome. Is there something you need of us? Something? My name is Felicia."
Felicia, thank you. Althea gave me your name to speak to you. We are currently looking into a matter and would like an opinion of any mage that you may think might know something regarding alchemical organic matter, I guess would be the best way to phrase it.
You by chance aren't the group working with Izoldi, are you?
Yes, I don't know how much Izoldi spoke of it. I'm also not quite sure where she went since our time working together. She split off from us yesterday, but yes,
that's concerning.
Well, she can be a bit odd at times, so.
Yeah, I mean, I barely know her, but yes, she struck me that way as well. Please come. We'll speak more in private. She takes you off to a room off to the side.
I feel very uncomfortable here.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they're all assholes, but they won't do anything.
I'm glad I said that out loud. I wasn't sure if that was in character, but then you played it off. I'm here for it, 100%.
She brings you into a little small private room, but it's got a nice couch and like a little coffee table, and offers you a goblet of wine.
Oh, thank you.
Fancy.
Water, please.
Of course. And she sits down. How can I help you?
Is the wine real?
No, absolutely not. But it tastes delightful.
I do wonder if this is something that Eldemar could drink because it's technically not real.
Water's fine.
So I probably will pull out one of the pieces of mystery meats and say, I simply wanted opinion from a magely sort.
How is the meat being presented? Is it the one that's in like the jar? Is it just like in a sack or wrapped in cloth? Like here's some meat.
It's probably in vials that I have in like the surgeon's kits and the alchemy sets.
Okay, so it's pretty small.
Yeah, I mean these weren't big chunks.
Yeah, so we're gonna say at this point the vial is filled.
Yeah.
Like it's starting to put pressure on the cork at the top end of the vial.
Yeah. Okay.
She looks at it and gives a very concerned look of like, what the fuck did you just present me?
It was material that was found on drowners, but it was of a foreign nature to the drowners themselves. We're trying to figure out if we can figure out any origins or methods of creation for it, just to give us a lead on what its cause could be. Obviously, it's fairly disconcerting material. You can't tell as well since it's filled up the vial, but when it started, it was not filling the vial, which gives you an idea that it seems to be growing on its own in a similar manner that a vampire's core might do, though several pieces were growing in this manner, so it was not limited to a core like a vampire would.
She reaches out her hand to take it. Do you let her hold it?
Yes, I would hand her the one vial.
Okay, so she takes it and kind of looks at it up and down, like holds it up to the light, and kind of quietly whispers an incantation, and you see it kind of like glow for a short bit, and she kind of hesitantly goes for the cork at the top and like squeaks it open slowly and kind of gives it a sniff and quickly recorks it, and you see for the moment that it was uncorked, a little like meat tendril was starting to like wriggle, and the cork pushed it back in. She hands it back to you and says, "This is truly disturbing beyond belief. I
Yes.
do not understand what was going on down in those sewers, but I can tell you one thing. This is probably mutagenic magic. This is not something that is acceptable in mage society by a long shot. This is horrifying, to say the least.
Good to know. Obviously, if you can't give any...
like Witcher?
Yeah, but say, yeah, mutagenic. How...
Can I do some sort of check to see if I have any knowledge about it, like education?
Go ahead.
And Witcher training would not help in this, right, Chris?
Go ahead and roll your Witcher training.
Okay.
22 on education.
I'm going to toss my last 4 luck points into here.
Okay. What'd you get, Chad?
22.
22, okay.
I probably should have burned the luck points since I don't know that I'm rolling again. Oh well.
Okay, so I exploded
Nice.
into a nice amount. Hold on. Plus 16. Hold on. Wait, I just lost it. So 18. I got 18 on the dice alone.
Oh my goodness.
Plus 4 for the luck points makes that 22. 6 makes that 28. 10, 38.
Damn.
Woo! Okay, so starting with the education roll, not a lot in like the academics talks much about mutagenic magic because it's taboo, right? This is dark magic that is not acceptable, has not been acceptable for a very long time. That being said, it has been known predominantly, the most common use of mutagenic magic is to make witchers. It's a combination of magic and elixirs that is used to generate the developments and the mutations needed to make witchers. It hasn't been done. No new witchers have been made in a very long time. It's at this point in history, it just doesn't happen. So mutagenic magic was theoretically kind of disappearing, but you know of at least one historical moment somewhat recently that was theorized to involve it, which was actually no, you know what? I don't think you would necessarily know that. But yeah, okay, so we'll say that's what you know. Adelmar, on the other hand, you know the Witcher's tales of what's going on with this. So you know the easy part, that mutagenic magic is used to make Witchers.
Yep.
But you know from the Wolf School of Witchers, and tales have been spread between Witchers of mutagenic magic being used on humans and monsters to make beefier monsters, but also have been made to make monsters out of humans. There is an event that happened 4-ish years ago, I think, at this point, with the leader of the Order of the Flaming Rose, Jacques de Aldersberg, who was the leader of that organization, who was a fanatic, who worked with a sorcerer named Azar Javed to create mutated humans to basically serve him.
Oh my god.
Both have been killed. Jacques de Aldersberg was killed, and that was the beginning of the dissolvement of the Order of the Flaming Rose. Azar Javed was also killed by Geralt of Rivia. In theory, that whatever magic they developed to make all this has disappeared since then, and has presumably been destroyed. But that's the most recent historical Witcher event to involve mutagenic magic. So it doesn't happen often. Witchers can use it as well themselves to mutate themselves to give themselves enhanced properties permanently.
Right.
But
not,
it's only one mutation at a time, and that's the limit. Anything beyond that is when it starts crossing the line of dark magic in the eyes of society.
So what you're saying is Edelmar should eat the mystery meat.
Edelmar absolutely can infuse himself with a mutation if he
And
so
knows
desires.
this with his 38.
Yes. He's probably known witchers that have done it. So, like, you could kill a drowner and use a drowner part to infuse yourself with drowner biology to give yourself enhanced abilities. Permanently.
What's
But we
the
don't know
thought
what
on
the
that?
mystery meat is. So you don't know what skills you get.
But what's the thought on the Witchers doing that? Is that something common that they would do, or is that like what the more extreme ones would do?
You're the Griffin school, right?
Yes.
In the Griffin school is probably a little bit more acceptable because you're a highly magical group. So to y'all, like, that's just part of the craft. Whereas other Witchers schools might be way more against it.
Yeah, I mean, the other added thing is, like, you're already a mutant.
Yes.
Right, yeah, exactly. I don't know if I'd want to slap the mystery meat on me. I think we need to burn that, because I don't know if I'd lose any thought, especially after seeing what it did.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is Edelmar's choice to even say anything, because the minute I walk out of here... the minute I walk out of here, I'm throwing it in an acid bath.
Yeah, no, I will say let's burn this. I don't like this. I don't know who made this. But it doesn't look like a Witcher built thing, at least based off of that, right?
No, this is beyond a Witcher's capabilities.
Yeah, this doesn't even seem Witcher like. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of all of it. It freaked out other people. I think we've gotten our answer on it. Good thing Edelmar didn't munch that stuff for snack time. I mean, I guess I could try it, but
infinite snackies.
Yep.
Eat it.
Everybody grows back.
Giving me the little neck growth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, waiting for it to protrude out of Edelmar's mouth, and he goes, ah.
That's okay.
Well, your stomach is filled with acid.
But is it strong enough?
Probably not. I'll take a mutagenic that makes my stomach acid stronger.
There you go. Yeah. That would totally exist.
All right. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Burn. We're gonna burn that.
Cool.
All right. I'm ready to leave. I don't like this place. No offense. Paige.
None taken.
Felicia, thank you for your time.
Thank you for confiding in me. I'm happy to be of help. I wish you luck with whatever you're dealing with, but please use me as needed in the future.
I would say please tell no one. This is odd.
Don't worry. I'm the one who sent Isolde to Chappelle in the first place. I understand the sensitivity of this.
Good. Thank you.
Cool. She sees you.
Yeah, I think we go back to Avilar's place, and I immediately spend another one of my acid sets just to melt the remainder.
We'll say you at least need 2 to melt the remains.
There goes all my acid then.
Fire?
It's a good cause.
Hold on.
You could attempt to use fire. I mean, fire definitely will do it, but you have to keep a constant flame on it in order to...
The acid we know will work, and knowing my luck, I'll fumble and then set myself on fire. So it's fine.
Start another fire at Elvira's place.
Oh my god.
Cool. I think this is probably a pretty good stopping point for the night.
Yep.
Great.
I'd say so.
Nice.
So
well,
Chris,
this was definitely a heavy information session. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You guys have literally hit every single phase 1 of information gathering note that I had. So good work, team.
Yay!
I wasn't actually sure if you would do the full rounds like that, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
How much IP do we get?
Yeah.
So
2.
Let's see. Standard fare session. I don't think there was anything particularly miraculous. You weren't dealing with crazy difficult stuff, but you got a lot of information.
I have to know.
And Chaotic just raided us.
Yeah, just in time.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Chaotic? How's it going, friend? So we'll give y'all 6 IP for the session.
Sweet.
I'll take it.
Hell yeah. What's up, Chaotic? I hope you had a good stream. We're just wrapping up our session over here, but always happy to have you. For folks that have not been over at Chaotic Chow's channel, please Go give her a follow. I think she's a ton of fun. She's got a lot of energy, the good kind.
Oh, she's absolutely a ton of fun.
She is a lot of fun.
What game
she's
is
playing
it?
some Splatoon tonight.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Happy to see the Splatoon's been going strong still. Cool. All right, so 6 IP to y'all.
I'm a mess. You're not a mess.
You're
Get
not
outta
a
here.
mess, Chaotic. You're a delight. Get out
If
of
anything,
here.
you're on the. Oh, that's Xenoblade 2. Ooh, at some point I'm gonna get into those games. I guess there'll
Oh
be some.
yeah.
I own 1 and 2 and still have not touched either one.
I've got 1, 2, and 3 and have not touched any of them, and the DLC for 2. So.
Cool. I guess any closing things folks want to talk about, or should we just go around the rounds and give y'all your
Just real quick, next time we all meet, guys. I know I won't be here next week, but my goal is to get enough necrophage and vampire oil so that we can maybe take on a little catacan action at some point, or I'll go on my own and fight some catacan. Because what I read is it just gives you +5 damage. Like if you put that on, you have +5 damage to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm throwing my dagger.
Well, and some of the creatures also come with vulnerabilities on top of that.
Yeah, so yeah, again, I just read what the base did. So yeah, there might be more on top of that. So my goal is I already have a few of the pieces, but to find those and then see if you guys want to help me hunt it. If not, I'm gonna go on my own and do some catacan hunting at some point.
I think the only question I would have is for Edelmar. Did you mention the recent mutagen usage? Like with the Order of the Flaming Rose?
Yeah,
like after we left the room.
Yes, I would have mentioned at least the fact that I knew there was witchers that were doing it, and a bit about the Flaming Rose.
Okay, so I'm aware that the most recent known case of mutagenic magic being used was the Order of the Flaming Rose.
I don't see a reason keeping that, especially since we know we're now working with somebody who is directly involved with that.
Yeah, I mean, and we know that their remnants are now flooding into the city.
Possibly, right, exactly, yeah.
Like, we know remnants of the Flaming Rose have joined the Witch Hunters and are now in the city. So that actually, that actually gives us like, hey, so the old leader of these Witch Hunters guys messed with this stuff pretty obviously.
Yeah, so...
And now it's showing up right as they come into town.
Yeah, yep. So I definitely do share that, though, because it makes sense to share it, because no reason for me to keep it under wraps. Like, what?
Right. It's not like your secret or anything.
No, exactly.
The thing, too, that's an interesting twist on this for people, for characters that would know more about the Witch Hunters, so definitely you, Reginald, is that this would actually be pretty adverse to what the Witch Hunters would like. They would probably want to also eradicate this. So, coming from the Order of the Flaming Rose, where this was happening, there's a conflict there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it can be considered related.
Yes, yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Heck yeah. Nice. That's all I had, I think.
Yeah. I think I'm fine with doing shout-outs now.
Yeah, let's do our rounds.
Yeah,
we'll start with the Sleepy Boys. Kevin, let's hear what you got going on.
Hey folks, I'm Kevin, aka Gort in this session, aka Metal Snake 81. I am Chris's streamer baby, as I also do chrono streaming. However, tomorrow we are playing Darkest Dungeon, and that'll be at noon local time. Yeah, 2 events are going to be popping off tomorrow during that stream, so I hope you guys stop by at least for 5 minutes for a chat.
Ooh, yeah, that's exciting. All right, let's hop over to you, Jen.
Hey, I'm Jen, aka Yachek, aka kinda Neil cosplay on Instagram. Working on Byleth from Three Houses, so check it out.
Yeah. All right, Chad, how about in your neck of the woods?
I'm Chad, aka Reginald, aka Chaddington Bear, just a perennial lurker in chats. I am probably going to start streaming more frequently soon. So that would be at Chattington_bear. Also, you can find me lurking in Chris's Discord basically all the time. Not always talking, but I definitely look at all the posts. So I see all of it.
Chat a fair amount too in
see
there.
everything.
Cool. And how about you, Tony?
Hey, I'm hard over this. Tony, aka Edelmar, aka Geek Arius, right? And I have streams going on over at my channel, twitch.tv/geekarius, which Chris already put up there. I'm doing a little special stream tomorrow because I want to finish up Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores. So I'm doing an 8 a.m. stream. We're gonna wrap this up.
Hot dog.
I am so close to being done. I've got like 2 side missions and the last mission. I think I wrap it up in like 4.5 hours. So we're gonna wrap that bad boy up tomorrow. And then I don't know what I'm playing next. 'Cause I got a lot of trips coming up, and so I have to keep like leaving for the weekend. But that's what I'm doing. And sometimes I hang out with Chris, but I hate him, so you know,
I don't
whatever.
even know who Tony is.
I'll be back on the stream at some point, guys. There are some there's some Wednesday streams I'd like to be a part of. So.
Yeah, scroll to the top
That's a
of
good,
this
good
stream.
use of that clip.
I was gonna say, scroll to the top of this. Yes, yes.
Got 2
thank
things
you.
to give to you.
Contradiction, Tony. Contradiction.
Aren't we all? But
Objection.
Cool. And over here we'll be streaming Monday. We've got 2 streams on Monday. One's going to be a daytime stream. We're doing more Tears of the Kingdom, and then in the evening I'll be joined by the delightful Radio Tom doing more Resident Evil the board game. Then Wednesday we're back in action with more. Oh, we're kicking off Bendy in the Ink Machine.
Oh no!
It's going to be so bendy. Wiggly waggly.
I got so scared during our Let's Play days. Ooh.
Yeah, it was great. And then next week we'll be back over here with this crew playing more Witcher Tabletop RPG.
Minus me.
Yeah.
Minus Tony, but plus Izolde, so...
Hopefully.
We're switching out one powerhouse for another powerhouse.
You're all powerhouses in your own fields.
We really are. We couldn't do half.
If it's the art of seduction.
Oh my
God. Dude, hell yeah.
All right, I think we're going to go through...
doctors next week.
Yeah. We're going to go through the raid over to Saltiest of Squids. He's an absolute delight. He's playing some Tears of the Kingdom as well. He's an Australian streamer, and I think he's pretty darn swell. He's not as salty as he sounds. Yeah, and I think that's it. Thanks for hanging out, everyone.
Thank you.
Hope you all had a good time. Thanks, Godless.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.